All right, welcome to the Sae Bae cast number 235 with a skilled girl, or as I'll address her, Lauren. Lauren, how are we doing tonight?
I am good. Thank you for having me.
It's honestly my pleasure. We've talked before. You actually helped me. Just a little bit of context. We were duoing Royal Titans like a month ago or something, and
Yeah.
I ended up getting Deadeye. So that was just amazing. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you're welcome.
yeah, thank you. But I do need to go back because I got to get my twin flame staff. So maybe over the next week we'll do another like duo sesh or something, and I can spoon a twin flame real quick because it's just actually disgusting at Zulrah, and I had no idea about that. I thought it,
That's what I heard. Yeah.
yeah, I thought it was just a staff that changed your spells based on like what the weakness is. I didn't know it like had a two-shot mechanic. I really didn't know anything about it. And it's so weird because people see me as like the update guy, so I should know everything about the game. And I swear it's like there's just so much stuff that's come into the game lately that
Yeah.
it's just hard to keep track even for me.
I don't know
So
anything about anything until I actually use it myself, so I get it.
yeah. So I want to get kind of an overview of who you are. Obviously, I know who you are, but for the audience, and I guess I'll kind of start it off by just saying, like, I'm pretty sure I started streaming and then I found your stream, and we're talking 2019. I I'm not sure when exactly you started, and I don't think I ended up watching any of your streams until after I had started. But let's get like the whole context. What year did you start? Was that 2018 or 2019, or was that even earlier?
That's a great question. I always say 2019, so it was somewhere around there when I first started streaming.
Okay. So it must have been just around that same time because I started January 2019, but my stream growth was just like so abysmal the first 3 months. I mean, I was genuinely camped at like 3 viewers for like
Yeah.
3 months. And then
Yep.
finally I got like my, quote unquote big break. It was like a medium break, but it was good enough to like start getting the ball rolling. But how was your like initial stream circumstances? I feel like for every creator, it's a little different.
Yeah, so I'll give you like a brief overview of like my stream history before I even got into RuneScape. So I first started streaming Fortnite off of my Xbox with my Kinect, and that's how I first got into streaming. So I was doing that for quite a while until I decided that I wanted to switch to PC, and I ended up buying a PC and I ended up doing like a Twitch stream with my Twitch chat talking me through how to build my computer. So that was how I first like really got into like PC gaming and streaming, but I was still hard focused on Fortnite until somebody that I used to play Fortnite with, who was another streamer, had told me that he used to stream RuneScape back in the day. And so he kind of told me, he's like, "Have you ever played? You should get into that. You should try that." And I played growing up, so I figured why not give it a try and just see how it goes, because Fortnite was like so big back then that if you wanted to like make it as a streamer, like you had to be insanely good at the game to even get noticed. So I figured I would try RuneScape, and I got into it and just like immediately had a lot more viewership than I did when I was playing Fortnite. So it just kind of started from there. And I think a lot of people liked watching me try to like learn the game and kind of like figure it out. And my first goal was Quest Point Cape. So a lot of people liked watching me, try to accomplish that and help me get through it. So that was kind of like how I started off with RuneScape.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's so weird because I feel like for people getting into content creation and doing it for the content creation journey itself instead of just I think I've described this in other casts where I like the reason I started streaming RuneScape was to just play more RuneScape. Like just any
Mhm.
way to like play more RuneScape and find some way to monetize it. Like that was what I really wanted. It wasn't like, oh, like content creation sounds so cool. Like how can I, be a content creator and then you choose the game. No, it's like the game chose me and then I'm like jumping into it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so it does seem though that like the old school RuneScape section is pretty tight knit. Obviously, it's definitely a lot more diverse like these days. I mean, when you look 6 years ago, at least in my mind, it probably was just as diverse back then as well. But I was just so new to Twitch, it felt like it was more of a tight knit sort of community, and it still kind of is.
100%.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
feel that too? Yeah, because
Yeah, like, back in the day, everyone knew everyone hosted everyone popped into, like,
yeah,
everyone's streams. It was like yeah, like, if you streamed, everyone knew of you, and that's how close and, like, how small it was back in the day. And now, because I took a long break from Twitch, and I took a break from RuneScape, and now I get on, and I'm like, I don't even know anybody anymore.
it's kind of
It's changed
sad.
a lot.
I think it's just like the more time goes on, you just get more and more and more comfy in your own little community, and it's just hard to expand. I mean, that is the case even outside of gaming and Twitch. It's like
Yeah.
once you graduate from college or, leave high school or something, like it's so much harder to make friends and people are just way more closed off generally. So I feel like the sort of the same thing with Twitch has happened. And I mean, but yeah, it's just hard. Like it's hard to really reach out. And then sometimes there even feels, and this is, I've talked with other people on the cast like years back, people that are, smaller Twitch streamers. And it's like, they just, I mean, Uberu in particular comes to mind. He's a guy that is really all about like collaboration. He wants to, but he genuinely feels like nobody wants to collaborate. Like nobody wants to like really do some community building streams and stuff. And I definitely feel that. I mean, I'm guilty of it myself for
Do
not.
you think that's true, or that's like you being self-conscious type thing, and maybe just thinking that?
I think it's true, but the only point I might be off on, and he might be off on, is I don't know if it ever was the case where a lot of streamers would collaborate. I think it's just this, maybe it's like this fantasy that like it would be great if the old school community was much more tight knit and much more like welcoming all across, and they were really trying to build each other up. Because
Yeah.
I think Uberu and I, this might have actually been off a cast, but we were just talking like, it seems like, you got like the super big streamers that kind of all collaborate and they just kind of dominate the scene. And then you just got everybody else and they don't even like
Yeah.
barely interact with each other. So it's just like they're
Yeah.
always down there, but the top guys will collaborate and they just grow even more and more and more. So
Yeah.
yeah. But so let's rewind a little bit and touch on, so you started getting into old school. Your first goal was the quest point cape. See, I think when I started watching you, you were like at top, I want to say already, or
Okay.
maybe you were. That must have, I'm trying to think like what like the first, that's the content that's coming to mind is like you were at top, but you're gonna have to educate me a little bit more. So how was that like in game, at least content creation after the quest point came? What did you start getting into? And was this on a main or an iron?
It was on my main. So
Okay.
when I first started playing, I didn't even know what Ironman was. I didn't know anything about the game. So I made a main, and I was like slowly kind of trying to learn the content and get through. I obviously had like absolutely no clue what I was doing. But I've always liked questing. It's nice like having, like a set thing to strive towards or work towards, or it's like a good way to kind of train your skills up because the quest requires it. So that was always my goal, and I thought like it would be, at the time, the lowest level you could get a quest point cape was 85 combat. So I like wanted to get my cape by 85 combat. So that was like my main goal. And after I got that, I had developed like a little bit of a following, and I had like a somewhat decent viewer base that was supporting me through all of that. And when I finished that, it was like, okay, like what's next? I guess like it's so weird because like now that I play an iron as a main, it's like, okay, you raid, you make money, you buy
Yep.
gear, and then you raid some more. So after I finished my quest one cape, it was like, okay, I guess I'll learn chambers. So I did that first, and chambers is definitely what like paved the way for everything, because like how a lot of like my PVM journey started is I was doing like very casual chambers with like friends who were trying to walk me through it. And it's actually a funny story. One of like my very, very good friends to this day, I was at Chambers and I was streaming. I was like at the bank outside, and he had walked, I didn't know him at this time, and he just had walked by Chambers Bank, and he had the Puppet Isle pet. And I did not know what that was at the time. So I was like freaking out, like fangirling, that's so cool. Oh my God, what is that? I want that. I want that. And then somebody clipped it and sent it to him. And he came into my stream and was like, "Oh, you're talking about my pet." And since then, me and him have been such good friends. I've met him in person like many times. Like we get along so well. And um him being like a super sweaty, like Oblivion member was like, "Oh, I'll teach you Inferno, I'll teach you Tob, I'll teach you CMs, I'll teach you this." And like he was very good at all of that content. So very early on, I had like a great group of people who were good at teaching content, who were very efficient at it. And that just like pushed me from like this little noob with like a quest point cape to like now I'm doing CMs, now I'm tobbing, now I'm, like I can do all of this content. I'm learning solo chambers, I'm doing duo tob. Like it just like skyrocketed my progress.
That is so cool. It's just like one interaction changes like the course of, and you actually reminded me. Yeah, it was Chambers. I think I would raid you and you would be at Chambers. I think,
That sounds right. I did a lot of chambers on my main.
I think Tob was on my mind because it's almost, it doesn't, I don't know, like Tob is now like the raid where like streamers are doing Tob way more. Back in the day though, like Chambers was it. I mean, because not many people even knew how to Tob back in even like the first couple of years of Tob. I mean, I was so intimidated by Tob the first year. I think I did like genuinely like 5 Tobs in the first year. I mean, I was still newbie at the time. But I really wasn't that newbie. I actually got my Infernal cape like 3 days before Tob release. But I was still so intimidated by it because like I needed a team and I didn't have like all the gear probably that I should have had. So, but
I feel like Tob is always a more intimidating raid, especially for like anyone to learn, because Chambers you die and you just go right back in.
Yeah.
Like it's not really like punishing if you die, and Tob it's like, okay, I die, now I gotta wait till the next raid to try this room again.
Yeah, it was definitely, I mean, in my eyes, it's the better design choice to have something a little bit more punishing like that for an end game raid. I think Tob executed very well, but the problem is, and even the devs have talked about it, it's like they are a business. Like they want to get players to interact with the content they make. And so making repeated, quote unquote Tobs over and over, it's just, when they see the numbers, I don't even know what the numbers are. I'm just going to pull a number out of my ass. It's probably like, it's not going to be completely off, but it was something like, I don't know, not even like 1% of the community had even like touched Tob basically in the first year of it. It was just so elite for the time. I could be off on that, but it was so little. When you look at the comparison, especially the comparison of Toa to Tob, I need to like look up the actual numbers. I just don't know where I could find that quickly, but yeah, Toa completions over the course of like 5 years of Tob, in the first few months of Toa release, it had as many completions as 5 years of Tob. It was just insane. And so I like that, but you are right. Like Chambers was way more accessible and just less intimidating. And it still was intimidating. To be fair, Chambers, I think, was even more confusing. Maybe that was just because that was my first raid experience, and then Tob was just my second, so it was just I was a little bit more comfortable. But holy crap, I still remember actually logging in on Chambers release and joining some random mass that was going on because everybody was there, and it was a nightmare. I mean, nobody knew anything about what was going on. Like we're all I think we were at Tecton. We had like 80 people in there or something. I think Tecton went on for like 15 minutes. We just could not kill it. It was just, we didn't know what was going on. People were like shooting it with, I don't even know, like a blowpipe or something. It was bad. So, but yeah, that Chambers to me was definitely much more confusing. But now we have just so many guides. And if you're on Twitch or anything, like you see people raiding. And so it ends up clicking a little bit easier, I feel like, for most people.
Yeah, I was never around for any of the raids releases because Tob and Chambers were out before I even started playing RuneScape.
Yeah.
And then when I took a long break for a year or two, that's when Toa came out.
Tob release was hype. It was so hype watching. And oh my God, you missed Inferno release. That was the most hype thing of all time. Let me actually ask you about Infernal cape, because I feel like that is the pinnacle of like, okay, now I'm good at the game. I got my cape. how long did it take you to get your Infernal Cape? And were you somebody that was like super intimidated by it? We still see people like that today that just, they're so resistant to even trying the content, even if they are a PVMer. They're just like, oh, that's scary.
Yeah. So I would say, kind of like how I had the goal with like Quest Point Cape, but I want an 85 combat. I had the very dumb idea to get an Infernal Cape before I had Ice Barrage. So I started my Infernal runs with Ice Burst. And it was terrible, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I was not good at the game. It took me so long to get the cape that I eventually got 94 magic before I even got it. The runs were very difficult at first, but like I said, I had friends with like very high KC who were like really holding my hand and like walking me through it. So I'm very fortunate for that, because I know like a lot of people, they don't have that. They just have to kind of figure things out on their own, which I can see why it takes people like so long to achieve these things, because it is difficult content. When I first got my Infernal Cape, it took me a lot of tries. I don't even know how many. It took me so many tries. But after that, I really started to enjoy Inferno, that I was trying to get into like Inferno speedrunning. So I have like quite a few KC on the main, and my PB is like not fast by any means, but it was like a few years ago, and it's like about 70 minutes. So I was like pretty happy with
That's
that.
pretty good, especially a few years ago. Wow. Yeah, that's
And then
bad.
I got ACB Infernal Cape on my iron. So that is probably my proudest achievement to date.
That's cool. That's badass. Did you have like other good gear? Like, did you have rigor at least at that time?
Yeah, I just got my Infernal Cape on the iron.
Okay.
So yeah, I had rigor. Yeah, I had rigor. I had augury. I had anti top. I had the blood scepter. My gear was like pretty good, but
ACB makes it. I mean, that is the biggest difference going from anything below Tebow to whatever else. I mean, Bofa helps, but yeah, ACB is a different beast, especially because
it was like 4 sets at suck. It was terrible.
That's
so bad.
That's
and
about
I didn't
to be
hit.
me.
I didn't hit even like one ruby the entire fight. Like it was just terrible RNG. My friend was like, I don't even know if you're gonna be able to get this. It was crazy. I had my friend talking me through it though, and like I was so nervous. I was like shaking, and he's like, you got this, just breathe, just relax. And like I definitely don't think I could have done it without him, because the nerves were like so bad.
Yeah. See, like Inferno was never the content I was grinding. I think the last time I even did Inferno was like 2 months after CA's release, because I was like, okay, I'm going to get GM. I'm just going to fucking brute force this. Like, I'm going to do this. And I ended up having a lot of fun, but I will say like the Inferno, like, and that, again, that's like me on task. That's me with max gear back then. So I was never like, and I was pretty slow with my runs as well. But now on this like baby iron, I'm like, okay, I'm competent enough to know I can get an Infernal Cape, but like, holy crap, like I might like really embarrass myself, especially because there's a part of me that wants to even do Inferno before Blowpipe, but I'm terrified of that, because
that's crazy.
Yeah, like healers just heal. I mean, the whole experience is way better with the Blowpipe, because everything dies quicker, and it's just easier to kind of like just do the waves like that. But the healers would be the thing I'd be most terrified of, because it's so rhythmic to just like run to attack, and as soon as it's a 3-tick thing, it's like, oh my god, this is going to be a nightmare, and it's going to be way less DPS, and those healers can fuck you up, especially if you're not on task. It's just like,
and honestly, Blowpipe, I mean, I don't know what darts you'd use, but like after the nerf, Blowpipe kind of fucking sucks. It's like not that good.
Yeah, it'll have to do, obviously, but you're right. Like, do Blowpipe back in the day, that was, if you had some dragon darts loaded up, like you were balling. That thing was would annihilate. Imagine Blowpipe had just never been nerfed, and we had all the gear we have now. Like,
it'd be
Masori, Van Braces, and the new boots coming out, which I'm pretty sure they have +3 range strength, which is just out of control, because we've never had any range strength on the boots, and we're going straight to +3.
Yeah.
So That's going to be, I don't know. I was actually talking, I'm kind of just going all over the place right now, but I think it was in Scotty's stream. He was just talking about like how, and he speed runs Infernos and stuff. And I was just watching him in the morning, and he was just talking about like how so many speed runs are going to be completely changed in the next few months after Yama comes out and after the Delve boss comes out. Like Delve boss especially, because actually wait, is it Yama that gives, there's gonna be like a new death charge, and there's gonna be these new boots, and there's gonna be like all this new mage stuff, and it's gonna be insane. But
yeah, it's crazy like how far Inferno like has come, because now people are like in the 40s. It's crazy.
No, I mean we've seen people do a sub 39, like sub 39. That's insane to me.
Yeah.
That is wild, and the tech is so crazy now. Back in the day,
it is, yeah.
Like Wooks was insane for, I'm pretty sure Wooks did like a no brew or no food and no brew Inferno, kind of like shortly after Inferno release, and he even like dismantled his SGS or something just to like flex, kind of like toward the end. It was like, oh my god, like he's not healing, and like basically these days nobody's bringing any food in there if you're speed running it, and they're speed running it. They're not even like playing it safe, like they're just out in the middle. But I guess that's partly helpful because the blood fury exists. So
yeah, it's kind of crazy. I know xzact. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No,
xzact, I know like he did like I don't even remember what combat level Inferno, like not even that long ago, and then he did that challenge for somebody to beat him, and he'd pay them like $5,000.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that? Yeah. Has anyone even like attempted that?
Wait, are you talking about years back or?
No, like just recently.
Wait, what was that? Because I was thinking of the exact thing, like the 10,000. You knew about that, right?
What?
So xzact and no, I think it was it was Bodhi. Bodhi presented a challenge years back, and he said, "I'm going to pay somebody $10,000 if they can get like a sub, what was it? I think the lowest combat at the time was like a 46 or something." And he said, if you can do a 45 combat Inferno, I'll give you 5,000. If you get a 44, I'll give you 6,000. And it went all the way down to like, if you can get anything lower than a 40 combat Infernal cape or lower, I'll pay you $10,000. So xzact ended up getting a 40 combat cape, and then he like split the money and gave like $1,000 to like other streamers. It was like really, really wholesome and stuff.
I love xzact. He's like the sweetest person in the world.
We don't deserve him.
I know.
I don't know what he's doing these days.
I have his, he streams. He's been streaming here and there. I'll catch him sometimes. But okay, so I'm on his Twitter right now. February 15th, Inferno completed at 35 combat.
Wait, what the?
Yeah, and then it said 5K bounty to beat this record.
Okay, I'm out of the loop. Let me look at this.
Yeah, this was recent. This was just February.
Okay.
I remember him streaming these attempts too.
Oh, okay. So I did see this. I just didn't actually look down beneath the thread.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So I didn't even realize he had gotten I obviously liked this. I'm looking at the post right now, and I clearly liked it, but I don't think maybe I had just woken up. I just had no idea what was happening.
Yeah. 35
this guy is nuts. Okay.
And I know, he's on another level. He's fucking crazy.
I just love his name's Burger Master. Like, what is happening? And then, okay, so let's see this. Yeah, 5K bounty to beat this record. Achieve the Infernal game at 34 combat or lower before January 1st, 2026. Account must have at least one jet. Obviously, one jet, one suck. The crazy thing is I only feel like there's one person that can, maybe like a few people, like Port Khazard or Afzal can like beat this. I don't even think anybody. Yeah, so I was definitely out of the loop. I didn't know there was actually an actual bounty to get below that, but
to be honest, I forgot about it because it was like such big hype when he got it, and then I feel like it hasn't even really been mentioned, but probably because everybody's like, yeah, I can't fucking do that. So everyone just like moved on, like, yeah, right.
I know. It's so masochistic to go for something like that. You have to be so insanely talented at this game, and on top of that, you have to have so much patience, because I remember, and this is probably the same thing he did with his 35 combat cape years back when he got the 40 combat. He took, I think it took like 11 accounts for him to get it. And all of those 11 accounts had to first do a very, very, very low fire cape. And that's insane already. Like to have to spend God knows how many hours. I'm pretty sure Rendy was, when he would do his low fire capes, I mean, they take like 50 plus hours or something. Now it's probably a little bit faster than that maybe, but like building up those accounts, not making a mistake there, getting your fire cape just to attempt the Inferno. And then the whole time you cannot just go into the Inferno and make it to wave 30 or 40 and then end up dying and just, okay, I'm just going to do it again. Just no, it's like every single bit of XP you get, it means something. It's bad. Yeah, I
don't have the patience for something like that.
I don't think people that don't play OSRS understand the gravity of like these achievements. I don't think there's any game out there that's as like autistic when it comes to like these insane features, like insane like achievements, and just I don't know. I just feel like people will see that don't play OSRs or know very little on it. And I'm like, oh, it's just a point and click game. You know, anybody could do that. It's like, dude, this is a different beast. I mean, your brain has to be wired differently.
And there's a lot of people who are very, very good at this game, but it's like even those people are like nowhere near like xzact's level. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, one of the cool things that I definitely love seeing is the emerging players that kind of show they're actually up to that level. I mean, Noob Type was one of those guys. When Toa dropped, he all of a sudden came to like be known by the community for just being a beast at Toa. And then you saw the 27 Awakened Leviathans in one inventory, right?
I heard of it, but I didn't see like if there was a video or anything.
Yeah, there's a video. This is, I mean, we're talking hours straight of he is doing Awakened Leviathan with nothing in his inventory besides orbs, because he has to do 27 in a row. So he has to have 27 orbs in his inventory.
Yeah.
So this dude is one tick flicking every single thing and doing 27 of them in a row, doing that craziness without dying once. Like, what the literal hell is that? I do not get it. Like, that is something somebody would say as like a complete joke. Like, yeah, do 27 Awakened Leviathans. Like that would just be like, what are you even smoking? Like, that's not possible. And he just does it. And nobody asked him. There was no bounty. He just did it for fun. Like, I'm just going to do this.
Just to see if he could.
Yeah.
And he could.
Yeah. Just like, it's just a, casual Monday. I'll just go for it at 27 to 8. Like, people are, let me ask you as well, but I'll just start. Like, I'm not a player that just wants to push my limits on this game. Like, I like pushing myself a little bit. I've definitely seen the game become more fun because I get out of my comfort zone. And, you start learning things, and then it's like, oh, okay, I wouldn't have even recognized how much fun this is, but I got myself out of my little comfort zone, and now I've learned something, and I feel more confident with the game. But I am not a person that just wants to PVM and do some crazy stuff all the time. Like, that's...
Like, freaking Flash, who just does duo top 24/7.
Crazy.
Like, I don't know. I have respect for people who can do that, but I'm like, I can't even do the same content more than one night in a row without getting bored of it. I don't know how people just like camp the same thing over and over.
I will say, I mean, I'm trying to think. Did you watch any of my like whole Nightmare saga?
No.
On stream? Okay, that was probably when you were kind of gone from Twitch for a bit. But yeah, I spent 9 months at Nightmare, normal Nightmare. This is before Fasani's dropped.
Okay, and that's all you did was just Nightmare? You just camped it?
All I did. And it was like deteriorating my mental health like badly, like in real life, because all I was doing it for was to get an Inquisitor's mace so I could just like grind Sarachnis for clues. Like I was that guy. And I remember Lake gave me a little bit of sanity, and some other Iron Man as well at the time that wasn't a streamer. We were all three just complete psychopaths with Nightmare. Like, Lake wanted the green log Nightmare. We were both dry on a mace, I'm pretty sure. And if I recall correctly. I'm pretty sure he was going for the mace too. Yeah. And then, so at least I felt like I had some company alongside me. But yeah, that was like the worst experience of my life. I mean, when I try to describe how painful that was, I don't even know how I did it. Like these days, my mentality has shifted so much, but like, I just want people to go do one normal solo nightmare. Like just do that. See if you could even fathom doing a second one, like right afterward. And I was doing that for 9 months straight, and I ended up doing like 2,900 solos over the course of that. Like it was genuinely grind day in, day out, one tick flicking normal nightmare. And so when you mentioned Flash and like just being able to grind something, like I think there's like a certain mentality. It's like the gamer mentality when you're super deep in it, like you can do it. But I mean, Tob is actually fun. The nightmare was not fun, but it's just, yeah. So I can definitely like
resetting is not fun.
That's true.
But I mean, I feel like some people genuinely enjoy that, and that's why they can sit there and do that. And then other people, it's like, well, I know I'll enjoy it once I get this Inquisitor's mace, so I guess I'll just suffer through this and just do it until it's done and get it over with.
Yeah.
I just can't do that though. I can't do that with anything in this game.
It's crazy seeing the Tob Andes, I'll call them, that are still grinding Tob. Like, think of Terran. Terran's one of those streamers that, I mean, he just does Tob all day. I mean, he's over.
Yeah.
Let me just look him up. What's his, it's like, it's something Game of Thrones related. Aegon, that's it. Let me look him up.
Is it not just Terran?
No, it's, wait, isn't it Aegon? Yeah, Aegon. Rank 2, Theater of Blood, 12,539 Tobs.
Yeah.
Like, what is that?
And that's rank 2.
Yeah. Okay, I need to see what rank 1 is actually. I need to look this up on the high scores. I mean, 12,000, and he emerged because me and him also started streaming around the same time. And I'd raid him and he'd raid me, and he was just like the Tob guy back then, and he would teach people Tob, and he was running Tobs, and he never stopped. Like, it's just still what he does. And that's insane to me. And I'm certain he still enjoys it. If he didn't, I mean, why would he still be doing it?
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like when you play a main, like what else do? You just raid.
Yeah.
You kind of just raid. I mean, it's like, okay, it's the best money makers. Let me just keep raiding, like.
Okay, so rank 1 is 13,443.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, he's getting up there. He's closing in, but we'll see. I don't know if Incant's going. I don't even know who that is, but yeah, that's wild to do that. Okay, so I want to talk to you. This is something I need to bring up because I saw it on Twitter, and I'm just going to bring it up. So I just saw this post from Jimmy was replying. He quote tweeted this girl, Beth, who said, "What a dream it would be to quit working and just play RuneScape all day." And Jimmy's just like, "Sounds awful." And then I see you comment below and you're like, "Anyone who's done this knows this is not the dream."
Yeah, it was so funny because as I was typing that, I was literally thinking of you because we just talked about that not that long ago. We had a full-on conversation about that.
Yeah. So this is going to obviously start a whole conversation, but because most people that get into content creation, they're doing it because like this truly is the dream. Like if you can make a living from this, like what could be better than not working a normal job and just playing RuneScape? Because that's what people imagine. It's you just play RuneScape all day. They don't think about the stress of, having to entertain or the constant like, I mean, there's so much with it. I could go on and on about certain things.
I just want everyone to know that like the grass is not always greener. Like it is not.
Yeah. So I want to kind of lead this into your experience streaming on Twitch because you were full time and now you don't really stream much. I think you'll throw up a stream here and there, right? But it's nothing like serious.
Exactly. Yeah. It's so hard because I used to think the same thing. I was working a job that I didn't like and I wasn't happy with. And then how I first got into streaming was I got into a car accident and it was like pretty bad. I dislocated my tailbone, so I couldn't work and I was out of work for like weeks. And it's like, okay, well, what do I do while I'm just sitting here at home? So I decided to start streaming, and that's kind of like where it came from. And then I had continued to work for a little while, but it got to the point where I just like I wasn't happy, and then I quit my job, and then it's like, okay, let me just take like a small little break before I look for something else. And then it was like, oh, let me just play video games and stream in the meantime. And then, oh wow, this is so much fun. I don't want to go back to work. Like I don't want to have a schedule. I don't want to have a boss. I just want to play games all day and do whatever the fuck I want. And it was like kind of what you said, like this would be the dream if I could make this work. Like this is my ideal situation. And then once you get into it, you realize that that's like not the, I mean, maybe for some people that is, but for me, it definitely was not. Like at some point it got like so demotivating. I didn't want to play RuneScape. Like there's just so much that comes into it because I feel like you put pressure on it. Like especially if you are full time, that is your income. That is how you pay your bills. So now it's like, okay, I'm putting so much pressure on. I have to have a schedule. I have to be streaming full time. I need to be consistent. Okay, who do I collaborate with to try to get more viewers? How do I, make this better than it already is? And you're just like constantly thinking of like how to grow things and how to be more successful versus just like, oh, let me just go raid with my friends and let me just have fun tonight. Like it literally takes all of the fun out of the actual game because you're just so focused on like, how do I make money? Wow, I just streamed for 8 hours and I didn't get any subs. Like I made no money tonight and that sucks. And it's like just so much pressure. And what really killed it for me was when I was trying to push for partner. I thought if I became a Twitch partner and I was verified and I had that check mark, it would mean that like, okay, like I'm actually like doing something right and like this could maybe work and it's successful. So I was pushing so hard for that. And it would get to the point where like I would log on and I'm like, I don't even want to fucking play this game today. But I know that if I go play Fortnite or I go play Overwatch or I go play whatever else I want to play, okay, my viewership just dropped in half.
Yeah.
And now that's further away from my goal of partner. So and then you're streaming and you watch your viewer count and it's like you have to have, I think it's like 75 average for like a month for partner. And it's like you're watching your viewer count and it's like, oh, today I only have 70 viewers. Like, is it even fucking worth streaming? Like this is just going to bring my numbers down. And like, it's hard to even like enjoy and just like have a good time because there's just so many pressures on it. And it's just like, I don't know. It just sucked. It got to the point where I didn't want to log on. I didn't want to play the game, but that's how I make my money. So I guess I got to log on today. I guess I got to like pretend like I'm in a great mood and pretend like I'm having so much fun playing this game I don't want to play today. And like, it just sucks. It really sucks after a while.
So I will just give, now I'm reading over Beth's tweet. She technically never said to stream RuneScape all day. She just said to play RuneScape all day. But even then, I would still agree. Like that is not the dream.
100%. Yeah. I think like when you play in moderation, that's when you're like, this game is so fun. This game is so enjoyable. There's so much to do and not enough time in the day. But when you literally have 18 hours a day to play, it's like, okay, there is definitely enough time in the day, and I don't need to spend all of it playing RuneScape.
Yeah. So, but the way she kind of phrases it, it makes it seem like, okay, you're going to play RuneScape for money. So, that's going to be some content creation or streaming or something involved. But, yeah, no. And everything you said is like just 100% true. And I've obviously experienced it. You experienced it. Many people that have tried to start streaming have experienced it. It's like, it's so fun just messing around and, you kind of hope that things grow and you start making money. But when you're starting to just do that, like everything is just growth. Everything's fun and there's no pressure because you haven't made anything yet. So everything's upward. And then it's like, it feels like when streaming started becoming more stressful and way more pressure was when I started like having expectations for it. Like, oh, okay, like I've been averaging this many viewers. So now when I get below that, I'm like sad. I'm like, okay, I'm doing something wrong. And it's literally not that. It's just all in your head because there's just so many streamers live and there's so many people just doing whatever they're doing with their lives. It's just like you only, having 70% of your normal viewers, it has nothing to do with you. But almost every streamer that I talked to that it was growing a stream, and this is still kind of a thing. It's like a subconscious thing. Like when you see that viewers are low, you blame it all on yourself. You're like, what can I do to make this higher?
Yeah.
And it is so unbelievably stressful. And then, like you said, as soon as it's like your income, this is no longer just clock in, clock out. This is like, okay, I need to somehow get people to support me. And then that becomes a whole psychological thing of like, how can I be cheerful and entertaining and just fun and really try to, have a supportive community and ban the right people that come in and are toxic. And it's just like, there's a lot of just factors in play. And then on top of that, the whole thing is like, how can I extract money from people? Like that really is the psychological thing that's going on.
It is. And then like you're talking about like, okay, like banning the toxic people. And then it's like, oh, well now this toxic person is donating a lot of money. And then it's like where your morals like come in where it's like, oh my God, am I like selling out right now because I'm like putting up with shit that I wouldn't put up with because this guy's giving me money. And like, it's just so much that you have to deal with as a streamer. And I think a lot of people who have never been in that position would just like never understand.
It's so hard to understand it because I didn't understand. I didn't understand any of this when I was getting into it. I was just like, I'm just going to play RuneScape and like, this is going to be great. I mean, I felt confident enough that I was charismatic enough to hold a conversation and just talk with strangers online. But yeah, it can get really bad. And if you're stuck in your head, like, I've mentioned this years prior in some casts where I'm talking with streamers. And when I was playing for the first 3 months streaming, I was really trying my best to grow my channel. And so like I was streaming 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. And I take off the weekends. And then I was kind of changing my schedule because I realized streaming from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays was probably not the greatest time slot for, kind of building a stream. And so I ended up realizing being a degenerate helped pull numbers. So
yep. Yeah, I was on an Australian schedule, and that was the most successful.
Exactly. No, and so like beyond just the like mental health deterioration from just every factor I listed, on top of that, now I've completely fucked my circadian rhythm. I'm caffeinating at 2 a.m. to try to like fucking pull more viewers. And it just, everything was leading to me just having really unhealthy habits. And don't get me wrong, I still had a blast doing it in those early days, but like, yeah, it is so rough though, because those first 3 months, I mean, if you have a viewer in there, like every viewer is so special. Like you want to keep them around. And it's such a tightrope walk because people are like, oh yeah, just ban the toxic people. That's obvious. It's like, okay, what if somebody is never actually crossing the line, but they're making you feel uncomfortable occasionally, not even all the time. Like they'll say some great things or interacting, and then they say something really offhand, like that's just toxic or something. And it's like, you have to call it out, but it's kind of awkward because it's like you and a couple other people in the stream and you can't ignore it because, large streamers have the luxury of just ignoring anybody they don't want to respond to.
Exactly.
When you're a small creator, it's like, especially if you've built that culture already, which is basically impossible to not. You basically have to reply to every single person when you're growing. If you're a RuneScape streamer, if you're like
when you have like a small community, if you don't reply, someone else in your chat will. You know what I mean? Because there's not a lot of messages happening. So if somebody says something, like somebody else will say something about it. You can't just really like ignore those things and just like move on because the chat doesn't move fast enough for that.
Yeah, and there is obviously a way to navigate that, but when you are doing it, it's your first experience. Like you don't know everything that you'll know years down the line of streaming. Because these days, I just don't take any bullshit. But I have the luxury of having, 100 people in my stream. So it's just like whatever. And people already know me. People will defend me. Like when you're starting out, you don't have anybody to back you up or anything. And it's just, you don't know what the internet's like, really. I mean, this is your first kind of experience getting the hang of it. And it is just horrible. And for female streamers, I think it's got to be much worse because this is just the reality of the situation. When you have a new girl streamer, come into the scene, it's like the same 20 names of guys immediately jump into the stream, and it's like this competition, like who's gonna be the first one to be modded, you know, like who's gonna donate the most or whatever the hell goes on. But that is a weird thing as well, because oh my god, like I can't even, like, this is weird. It's like kind of creepy. Like starting off a stream, you're just trying to play the game, and you just got like 20 to 30 just people that have been on Twitch for the last, you know, decade, just hopping to every girl streamer, and just doing the basic like formula they do. I don't even know what it is, but like, yeah. Did you experience any of that like back then?
Like guys coming into my stream that you could tell like they're only there because I'm a girl. Yes, yeah. I feel like any girl is gonna experience that.
Yeah.
In any community that's like mostly filled with men. I feel like that's pretty expected. And like, to be honest, I don't care about that as long as like people aren't weird, they don't make me feel uncomfortable, and they like don't cross the line. I don't care if like you love your e-girls, you know, do your thing. I'm not judging.
Yeah, if you're gonna be a great part of the chat and making it fun, and you just love, you know, being in the girl show, that's one thing. But
and
it's
you just
like,
want to carry me through all the raids and teach me all the content, by all means, knock yourself out.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of like when it starts getting weird, and I almost feel like it naturally gets weird. And it's not everybody, of course, but again, this is something you had mentioned earlier, and I've dealt with this as a guy streamer, so I don't even know how much worse it is for a female. But when you have a dude that's donating to you, and now he's paying half your rent a month or whatever else is going on, it's like, okay, now there's this weird power dynamic where like he really does have a lot more like, you know, I guess power to just kind of be in the stream and say whatever he wants now, because it's going to be harder to get rid of him. And that ends up being a weird thing. Like if people don't like him, or if he's, you know, causing problems in the stream, what are you supposed to do? Just perm him? Like he's probably a mod at this point. He's paid your rent the last, you know, couple months or whatever. And that is when things get so weird. And I dealt with it as a dude, and it was weird.
It's also like the mindset of like, okay, you've paid me money, and now like in a way, I feel like I owe you. Whether it's conversation or whether it's friendship or whether companionship, whatever it is, it's like you've done something for me, and I almost feel like it's expected that I like return something, you know, whatever that may be. But I think like eventually you get to the point where it's like, I didn't ask you to do this. Like, you donated this money because you wanted to. You gifted me subs because you wanted to. Like, I don't owe you anything.
Yeah. And that's the tough part, because it's so easy to not show that immediately because the money is so meaningful.
Exactly.
So you feel like, okay, I actually do want to reciprocate something. If he wants to be added on Discord, like now I'll start talking to him. And did I want to start talking to this guy? Not really, but I want another donation.
and that's what comes with like trying to make that money. And that's honestly what like really sucks about it. And it's nice that like I'm going to tell you like a quick story, and I don't know if this is going to sound fucked up from like the outside looking in, but somebody from my stream, right, that I still talk to, he follows me on Instagram, we talk here and there. RuneScape Dragon Wilds came out, and he was like, "Oh, have you played the game yet?" And I'm like, "No, I haven't. I didn't buy it or anything." And he's like, "Oh, I'll buy it for you." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." He bought me the game, right? He bought it for me. I downloaded it. We played the first time together. And then after that, I was like, okay, I kind of just feel like doing my own thing. So a few days later, he messages me and he's like, "Hey, like, let me know when you're on. We can knock out quests and we can do this, this, and this." And I'm like, I'm going to be honest. I'm doing my own thing. And he's like, "Oh, I kind of thought." And I'm like, "Did you expect me to play the whole game with you? Because like, I'll give you $30 right now. Like, I don't need the money. I don't need the free game. And like, don't buy it for me with the expectation of something. Like, I don't put up with that anymore. I don't need the $30. I don't need anything. Like, if you want to give it to me, give it to me. And like, that's great. And I appreciate it. And that's very nice of you, because you did not have to do that. So thank you so much. But like, don't do it with the expectation of like, oh, it's $30. Now you have to play the entire game with me because I
Yeah.
bought that for you. And it's like,
So
I
weird.
don't know if that was necessarily his intention, but I think he kind of expected that a little bit. And it's
For
like,
sure.
look, I'll play with you here and there, but I'm not gonna like wait around and not play a game I want to play because you're not online and because you're not there. It's like
Yep.
if you were like my best friend, then like, yeah, okay, sure. Then, we'll try to sync up our schedules and whatever. But it's like we're not that close for me to feel obligated to do that for you. And it's nice that now I can say, "What's your Venmo? I'll send you $30 right now. I do not give a fuck." Like, and
Yeah,
I said that
honestly.
point blank where like before if I was streaming, I would be like, "Oh, okay, like when are you gonna be on?" And I would be a fucking
Oh.
pushover. And now like I don't deal with that shit anymore. And I don't feel bad about it.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of just having your independence and having your own income. That's not related to being a pushover. And it's
Yeah.
so, kind of sort of tying it all up. The content creation is such a shit show until you hit a point where you can very, very comfortably pay your bills and pay whatever else as a foundation without, needing any other stuff. And that's like the real journey of like being a content creator. And it takes so much time for most people to get to a point where it's like, okay, now I'm not going to take any bullshit. I'm just going to do my thing because I can. And and again, this is like the full-time content creation. The much healthier way to go about it is to do content creation while having a job already. And so then you just right off the bat don't need to take anybody's bullshit.
Yeah.
But that is just not the reality for most people. It's like in order to grow a stream, you need to be putting in all the hours you possibly can.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Have you ever had like
yeah.
an incident where like streaming or like bullying or people who are just like really fucked up like came into your community and it just kind of like fucked with you or messed with your mental health or anything like that? Or usually you're pretty good at just like pushing the trolls off and you don't really care.
It definitely used to affect me a lot more, but I've dealt with it so much. I mean, literally, just like 2 days ago or something, I was streaming and people just started, it's like a handful of people that were jumping into my Discord and just spamming images of me, just weird stuff. Just they'd get banned and then somebody else would come in and just spam the same thing in every single channel in my Discord, completely
Okay.
unprovoked. It's just weird. It's like
Yeah.
there's been nothing that I've done, but there's people that just hate me online for whatever reason, and part of it, I'm sure it's just, there's just weirdos online. There are, and they like to fuck with people that they can, and streamers are just an easy target to just, fuck with. And so
Yeah.
as soon as you give them any bit of that attention, they're like, oh, I'm going to keep fucking with this guy because it's clearly getting to him.
Yeah.
So that used to be annoying. I mean, I've even had people, give my full address online. I mean, they're replying to a tweet I make and they drop the full address, full name, everything. And so it gets beyond just, the mild trolling of posting whatever. Like people are
Yeah.
doxing me at this point. And, and then I'll have people, like, there's been threats and stuff, but I don't really take them seriously. But it's just weird because nothing's ever like actually happened in my real life, so I don't take much of this seriously. But it is, and I don't. To be fair, I don't take it as seriously either because I'm not living with anybody. I don't have kids. I don't have anybody to protect besides myself. So it's
Yeah,
definitely a
yeah.
lot easier. But like if I had a family or something, fuck, like this would be a way bigger issue. And so. And yeah, so I have dealt with this, and I've also dealt with controversy and things I've been in the wrong on. I mean, even, just lately there was controversy about me on Reddit. I think we talked on it, and it's like I have to just apologize. I'm not going to double down on anything. So there's controversy where that can affect your mental health because it's like you are in the spotlight. Every single person on the internet can just say whatever they want about you. And then there's been controversy about me that's been untrue, that people are spreading lies about me, and I have to like somehow address that somehow. And yeah, just being online, you really have to learn some sort of like mindfulness technique of just being able to let it all go, because holy crap, like it can really take a toll on you if you're not like stable with your own, like, you know, with yourself.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot to deal with, and I don't know, maybe I didn't deal with it, like, enough to become, like, numb or, like, immune to that because I feel like stuff like that used to bother me a lot. Like, the comments that
Mm,
people would come in and make or things that people would say to me or, like, just harassment and shit that I would deal with all the time, like, even if it wasn't, like, that big of a deal, it's just, like, like, "Why won't you stop?" type thing. Like,
yeah,
I don't know what I did to you for you to just, like, continually keep doing this, and, like, it's exhausting to deal with stuff like that.
it is, especially when you don't have the tools to navigate it. Like, there's no way to like really get rid of them.
Yeah.
Um, and so Twitch used to have some really bad issues with that. Like, there was no real way to get people out of your community. They could just keep making alts and whatever. Now there's a lot of like detection to know if it's like the same guy. And so, you know, when we were talking about, you know, people that are donating a lot and then they end up being toxic, I had a guy like that years back, and yeah, he was really mentally ill or something. I don't know what was going on, but he donated me a lot of money. I mean, when this is like around COVID time, and he like dropped his whole stipend on me, like in gifted subs. It was just insane. So it was just such a financial relief to have him around and dropping all these subs and everything. And so I was like blind to the clear toxicity and the harassment that he had with other people around the community. And eventually I did ban him, but for genuinely a year, for a full year after that, it was a regular thing to have people to have this guy come in with alt accounts and saying the most vile things and full doxing me and doing whatever else. And it was a recurring thing for a straight up year afterward. And I know it was that guy that was doing it.
Yeah.
But luckily, just around that time, Twitch had started offering like this kind of ban evasion technique. So he would say something and nobody in the chat would see it except for me and my mods. And so we could just clear it. And so it was still affecting me because I'd see it and it would just instantly take a hit on my energy levels for the stream. I couldn't be as entertaining because I was just literally anticipating the next alt that comes in and says whatever the hell he's going to say.
Yeah.
And it was just horrible. And then my mods aren't, you know, they're not getting paid to do this. So it's like they're not up to date with like just clearing it immediately. Like I'm usually the one clearing it. So I have to read it and then that affects me. And then he'll say something that really actually cuts under the skin, you know, something that he knows is an insecurity of mine and he'll dig at it, you know. And so it's just one of those things where it's like, you just have to, you just got to like let it go. And it's horrible because especially like you said, like when it goes on and on and on and on, and it's like seemingly there's no end to this, it can just be such a shit show.
Yeah, I had like an incident a lot less severe than that, but it was when I first started streaming, and I remember I was at I was at Barrows on my main, and somebody had asked in my stream if they could like donate money to me, and I had told them that like I wasn't interested in taking donations and that I was just trying to like get my money and get my gear myself, and they were like so adamant about it that they would just like not stop. And they just kept pushing that they, like, wanted to give me money, and so I was like, "Okay, fine, like, you can come trade me." So he comes and he trades me, and he trades me, like, I wanna say it was, like, 99 GP, and then he thought it was, like, hilarious. So he started, like, laughing and, like, it was, like, a huge joke to him that he was trying to give me money, but then it was, like, a slap in the face because it was, like, 99 GP, and, like, he thought he was, like, the funniest person in the world. So that happened, and then, like, a friend of mine, like, saw it happen and, like, knew, like, the whole situation was, like, weird to me because it's like, "Dude, I didn't even want your money in the first place." Like, I don't understand, like, what you're trying to do with this. So my friend's like, "Hey, can I buy that, like, 99 GP off you for, like, 100K?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then, like, we kinda made a joke about it and, like, moved on. This guy did, like, not let that go whatsoever. Pretty much
Holy.
anytime I was streaming, wherever I was, he would show up at Cox Bank and start spamming 99.
Oh
If I
my
was
God.
mid-raid at Ulm, he would join my CC, and him and all of his friends would come in and just start spamming 99. I banned him from my stream, and then he started making alt accounts with his friends, like what comes after 98 cooking and like shit like that. And they would just come in, and it was just like this whole thing, probably like 3 months. And I had reported it to like Twitch. They were whispering me like, it got to the point where it started off as like some weird kind of like joke, and then it became like an obsession, and then they started like messaging me just like the most like weirdest like fucked up comments. I don't know like what I'm allowed to say on here. Um but they
Uh,
were
If it's
I,
anything like what I received, like, I mean, I can imagine it. I'm pretty sure people could.
yeah, they were just saying like really really fucked up things to me, and it got to the point where it was like 5 or 6 different people who were doing this and making accounts constantly, and it was like I don't even want to stream because I know that that is what my entire stream is going to be about. And
Yep.
it's like, how much can you deal with that? And then it's like, you go to Twitch about it and they're like, okay, well, we can try to like IP ban them, but there's like not much we can really do. And it's like, oh, okay. Like, I guess I just deal with this like forever because like when it happens day after day and now it's been months and they're still continuing to do this, it literally feels like it is never going to stop.
Yeah.
Like this is like their life's mission to like hate
Oh
me
my
for some
God.
reason. And it is like so mentally draining that it's like I can't even enjoy my friends. I can't even enjoy my stream. I can't even enjoy the game because it's like they are there constantly. And stuff
Yeah.
like that is just it was hard for me to deal with.
Yeah. It gets so bad. I mean, for anybody that, I mean, you just obviously express it. I think anybody can just imagine how horrible that would be, just to have these fucking weirdos repeatedly harassing you for months. But just imagine you're going to work and somebody is just constantly going to be like picking at you in a very toxic manner, just harassing you your whole work day. And you have to
Yeah,
keep going to work. Like nobody
exactly.
deserves that like at all, and that's like completely fucked up. And so when you're a streamer, like you are dealing with that, and that's just like almost the norm. Like you're like expecting to be harassed by people. And like you said, I mean, you don't even want to go live, but you know, if you don't go live, like they won. Like that, their whole purpose is
Exactly.
to just rile you up and just, yeah, it's horrible. Like that sounds so awful, especially when it is like in game as well. So they're following you in game. They know where you'll be. Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah, I mean there's been so many examples over the course of almost 6.5 years
Yeah,
now
I'm
of me
sure.
streaming where it's just, yeah, it's a nightmare to deal with, and you just have to let it pass if you want to keep doing the content creation thing. It's bad. But yeah, they have been pretty good lately over the years, giving us new tools to get rid of these people. And it's eventually just like they just have to give up. They have to find it's almost like them finding a new person to harass, Like
Yeah.
that's really what it is. Like when is the next victim of theirs going to start getting harassed? So they, ignore you. It's bad. And old school RuneScape, I mean, it's definitely not. I mean, you got a subsection of the player base that's definitely extremely weird and clearly have issues in their life that they are dealing with, and so they like go crazy online. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't ever good at dealing with like any of that. Even like the small comments that it's like, okay, you know that it's not that deep and it really should not bother you. Like I had one person come into my stream one time and like don't get me wrong, like if it wasn't about me, I probably would have thought it was like funny, but it's like when it's about you, it's like, okay, like relax. They said something like I just want to let you know like I'm so grateful that I came into your stream because before I got here I was feeling very self-conscious about my forehead, but I feel a lot better now.
oh my god,
Just stuff like that where it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
yep,
Like he just comments like that all the time, or like just as much as like girls get a lot of like positive attention from guys, there's a lot of negative as well. Like people would come into my stream and be like, the stream would be so much better if you didn't have your webcam on, and like just stuff like that. And it's like it's crazy because it's like I would never say anything like that to somebody. So the fact that people think that that's like their life. They just go in and they just like degrade women and they just talk down to people, and like that's how they live their entire lives is like insane to me.
it's so insane to to ever do that. Like, what are you trying to get out of this? Like, just ruin people's day? Like, that's when you absolutely know for sure they are hurting, because nobody that is healthy and happy would ever do that.
Yeah.
Like, literally nobody would do that that's healthy and happy. Like, they would just not do that. And oh my God, that's horrible. Sometimes I try to imagine maybe how fucked up their own childhood was. Like, maybe the culture they grew up in was just relentlessly bullying each other. Family doing that. Because to be fair, my dad's side of the family, like when we have family reunions, their form of humor is to pick at you, is to tease you, like in the worst way, in the most toxic way.
Yeah.
And it's just so fucked up. And as a child being around that, you're like, oh, is this just how adults act? Like, you just, it's just like, this is you. And then as I would get older and older, I'm like, this is so weird. Like, what is this? Like, and then I wonder how my dad grew up. Like, is this what you dealt with in your own home? Just relentless bullying of each other? Like, what the fuck is this? Because we didn't experience that to any degree like that. And so sometimes I wonder if the people that are online, like, do they just think this is fine, or are they actually just trying to hurt you?
Yeah.
Like, what is going? It's like those jokes, it's like, this is not even a joke anymore. You're just being offensive for no reason.
And it's crazy because I feel like my friends could say the same thing to me and I'd like laugh my fucking ass off. But it's like, I don't know you. You cannot talk to me that way. Because like my friends have like a running joke in my stream where they say that I have like a big head. And I don't know like where it came from, but they all joke around like that. And so my friend will be like, oh, you're like a sniper's dream. Like your head's so fucking big. And then like we just joke around like that all the time. And stuff like that is funny to me because it's like they're my friends and like
when it's out of love.
But it's
yeah.
like
And
if I
it's out
don't
of love,
know
like they're your
you,
friend.
you can't say shit like that to me.
Yeah. So and that's like, you have to kind of gauge that. Like, if you have friends that like the teasing and they obviously already appreciate you as a friend and it's out of love, it's not hurtful. Then that's one thing. But yeah, the first message in a stream, like, what are you even doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, you're just looking for a ban, like, right off the bat. Like, I don't tolerate any of that now. When I see a first message in the chat of somebody, if it's not completely, like, if it's a question or whatever, that's fine. But if it's not something like something positive or something neutral, at least, like, if it's any bit negative, I am like, nope, like, that is your one chance. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not going to deal with this. I'm not going to like have this go any further. I'm not going to even give you that. I'm not going to let you say the punchline to the joke that you just tried to start like this. No.
And you just ban everybody?
If it's a the first time message, if I am perceiving it as even slightly, like, if I'm just like looking at it as like a scale, like there's like neutral in the middle and then positive or negative, if it's leaning any bit on the negative where I'm getting a bad vibe from it at all, and I could be wrong about it, like it could end up being just a mistake, but I'm sorry, like, I'm just going to get rid of you, because it is just one of those things where, like, you have to know better as a first time streamer to not do anything that's just weird or negative or just toxic. Yeah. It's just so stupid. And I used to deal with it. I used to just have people say whatever the fuck they wanted as their first message, keep them around. And then I end up banning them a month later for just their just repeated just weirdness. And I'm like, why did I even keep you this long?
I don't think I don't ever ban anybody. I don't ever ban anybody. I don't ever block anybody. Like,
oh, you should try it. It's great.
I don't know. I think like when it comes to like some trolls, sometimes it's like funny because you can like flip shit on them and like roast them even worse than they tried to roast you. And I feel like it can be really, really, really good content. So sometimes I kind of like stuff like that. And I don't mind if they stick around and continue to like try. But yeah, just in general, I don't ever really ban anybody. I mean, like if they are like saying something racist or something that is like absolutely 100% like not acceptable, and that's like one thing. But if it's just like something about me or like just something weird, like usually I just leave it.
If I could think of something right off the top of my head, I'll say it, but I'll usually ban them while making fun of them, and now they can't see the chat and they're gone. And that's
Okay.
fine. Like I will definitely, if they say something, I mean, usually I can make some sort of snarky thing, and it's really fucking easy because they can't even reply to it, and I don't give them that. Like, this is great, you know, this is great being the streamer. I can just get rid of you. No, I definitely was like you in the early years. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to just start banning people. And it's been way better. And blocking people. Like, the amount of people I've blocked is actually quite large on Twitter, especially. And I've banned a ton of people on Twitch. And honestly, my community is like when I start my streams now, I am genuinely like, I feel like at home. Like, I have my regulars that come in, and I have so many people that are genuinely there to have a good time in my stream, and they like me as a streamer. They're not there as like, oh, I can pick on this guy because he hasn't banned me yet, and I'm just gonna make the stream all about myself and like how funny I can be about like harassing this guy. No, it's all about like, this is just a cool place where we can all hang out and game and just have fun and have interesting conversations. So I think my community appreciates me not standing for any of that either, and that's just my community now at this point, and it's much, much, much better. So, yeah. And the blocking on Twitter, I mean, I have definitely a lot of haters on Twitter. I've had to block so many of them. And that feels really good because I get DMs actually quite often, not as recently, but I've had people where I'll block them, and then I'll see like a message somewhere, either like a Twitch whisper or a Discord message, like, hey, can you like please unban me? Like, I'm sorry I did that or something. Yeah. And occasionally,
like, you're a fucking adult. You shouldn't be doing it in the first place. Like, coming back with like your tail between your legs saying sorry, but okay. Yeah.
I mean, occasionally it really was a misunderstanding, but most of the time it actually just feels good for me to see like, you're the one missing out by me blocking you. Like, this is not, I don't even want to see your profile. I don't care who you are. You care about me though. So me being able to block you, I mean, now that Elon's fucked the block system up so you can still actually see everybody's profile and stuff, I guess I'm pretty sure you can still, I think when you used to be able to block people, you could not even see their profile. Nowadays you actually can. You can just view everything they do, which I don't like that personally. I liked it when they had to actually go on like an alt account to even see any of my stuff.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
I don't think I've ever blocked anyone on Twitter.
Oh, you're lucky. I mean, it can get so bad. It can get so bad where it's like, no, you're not. Because Twitter is like, actually can get like what you said, or people are just completely racist or sexist, and just like, it's out of control. Like, I never want to see this ever for any reason. How did it eventually end? Like, what was like the final straw for you to kind of like move on from content creation and go like start working?
I think it was to the point when I realized that like, I can't make money if I'm not streaming, and I'm not going to stream if like mentally I'm not in a good place or I'm not happy. And now my income is like so inconsistent. I can't confidently pay my bills every single month. And it's like, this is no way to live because like I have no quality of life. So that was when I was like, okay, I need to like, as much as like I don't want a job and a boss and a schedule, it's like, I think in my life personally, that is what I need, because I'm not good at self-motivating. Even when I stream full time, I didn't have a schedule. I wasn't good at like making sure I was up at a certain time to stream for X amount of hours. It was like, if I felt like it, I would do it.
Yeah.
So I need like structure in my life. So I decided to get like an actual job, and now like I don't really stream anymore. I just play RuneScape for fun.
And the game's probably much more enjoyable too, right?
For sure, yeah.
And is there anything now looking back where you're like, you know what, like content creation actually wasn't maybe as bad as I had thought. I just wasn't doing it right. Is there like any part of you that's like, it was good in some ways? This is obviously, I'm playing like devil's advocate almost, like I'm sure there's probably not much, if anything, but is there anything like you would have done differently now that you do have like an actual job, or are you just like, no, this is just way better in every way?
I mean, it's definitely not way better in like every way. Like it was nice doing content creation. You make your own schedule. Like if I want to go on a trip or I want to go do something, like I'm not like restricted by my job. You have more like free
Mm,
reign. I could kind of work when I wanted to work, which was nice. So like there's definitely like a lot of pros to something like that. And there are many times where it's enjoyable. And I do miss streaming sometimes. Like I think I told you this not that long ago. Like streaming is like the one place where like all of your friends kind of like collectively come to you and you have like just so many interactions where like now that I don't stream, like I see the differences like big time. Like when I was streaming, it was like, okay, anyone want a tob? I have a tob team in 2 seconds. Like, hey,
yeah.
anyone, who wants to go do this? Okay, let's go do it. Hey, I have a question on this. Can someone show me how to do that? It's answered. Like, and now it feels like complete opposite when I wanna, like, find things to do, and especially too because, like, on an Ironman, like, you do a lot of stuff, like, alone. So, when I do wanna go Tob, or I do wanna go Chambers, or I do wanna go Toa, it's like, damn, it's, like, kinda hard to find people to do that, where I knew if I was streaming, people would just be down to go with me. So, it's like, I feel like you get a lot more experiences out of things, and it's just nice to have, like, just everyone around you. Like, I feel like I stayed in touch with my friends so much more when I was streaming because it's so much easier to just pop into a stream and say like, "Hey, what's up? How have you been?" Than it is to like go out of your way and like message them on Discord and like have a conversation and like what do we talk about one on one, where like streaming it's just easy. It's like an open avenue for people to just interact and like come and go and like there were so many like funny interactions and funny people who came into my stream and like it was very entertaining for me at times. And like it's very different now that I don't stream at all. So I definitely do miss it. Um, and I'm not opposed to like ever streaming again. I just there's a lot of things I like about not streaming too though. It's like I could watch a movie and I could just like hang out. It's like
Yes.
I can't do that. Like if I'm streaming, I can't like right now I'm thieving vires. Like I can't do that while I'm streaming. Like nobody wants to watch me thieve and nobody wants to watch me skill. Like people want to watch you raid and like upgrade your account and like do fun things where it's like this is just not entertaining. And I know like if I hit go live right now, nobody would come into my stream. Nobody would talk to me, and I'd be sitting in, like, freaking silence with, like, just I guess just music in the background with, like, nobody to really interact with while I'm thieving fires for, like, 4 hours. That sounds miserable. When I know that, like, off stream, I could watch a movie, I could watch a show, I could be in Twitch streams, I could catch up on, like, YouTube series that I'm watching. Like, I could be in Discord calls talking about whatever I want and not having to worry about, like, "Oh, I'm on stream," and, like, I gotta interact with chat, like, "Hold on," like, "Pause your sentence because I gotta talk to this person." Like, you
Yeah.
don't have to worry about any of that when you're not live.
Yeah, no, it's nice. The evenings I'll take off where I planned on streaming. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna watch YouTube or Twitch or just whatever else on my
Yeah.
own. On my own. Yeah, it is much better. Like it's because again, it's the thing where if you've never done it, you just imagine it's just like, oh, we just play video games. Like that sounds like the dream. It's like, no, this is you are now on camera in front of people online and you have to entertain them.
Exactly.
So
And then
it's
even
yeah.
when you're not streaming too, like for me, it was like, okay, I ended my stream. Well, now I need to interact with my community. Let me go hang out in Discord with them for an hour or two and
Mm,
like talk
yep.
to them because I don't get to do that while I'm streaming. And then it's like, okay, well, now that I'm done with that, let me try to like, I guess, like, what's the word? Like let me try to interact with other streamers. So like now like let me try to see like okay I hosted this person but now I feel bad that I hosted them and I'm just going to sleep. So let me interact with their stream for a while and hang out and
Yeah.
talk and then like oh
Oh,
let me go
you're
talk to
right.
this person and this like it's almost like you're networking all the time and then it's like oh let me go on social media and let me like this post and let me post something because I haven't been active in a while. And like there's
You're
just it
so
just never
right.
ends. It never ends.
It's
It's
24/7. It's
yeah
like you are now a content creator. This is your whole life.
yeah
And as much as you can choose your schedule, at the same time, every little bit that you're not doing feels like you should be doing something.
yeah
Yeah. Okay. So obviously we could just go on and on and on about
I
content
know.
creation. I mean, I know me and you both love talking about it because we can just relate in so many ways.
Yes. Yeah.
And, I mean, Yeah, there's just so much I could keep going, but let's one of the things I actually wanted to talk about was your experience kind of like with Ironman, because you played a main, and I hear this is like almost universal. When people play main for so long, they eventually hit a point where they're like, oh, I'm kind of burnt. Should I do an Ironman? And I get that question all the time in my live streams. People will come in like, should I make an Ironman? I'm like, dude, do it. Like, you will have the most fun you've ever had in this game. It's like, honestly, in my opinion, it's the best gaming experience you can even have of any game, in my opinion. And again, this is coming if you're like an MMO enjoyer. It's just so pure. It's no microtransactions. Nothing can help you progress. The game is so massive, and there's so many routes you can take. And the whole thing is just dopamine filled from the get-go. It's just like every single thing you get, it feels so meaningful. And yeah, so I want to kind of ask you about your experience with Iron Man and kind of the difference, I guess, of main versus iron in your view.
Yeah, it's weird because like I had so much fun playing my main, and like raids were cool to get into, but then for me it kind of felt like, okay, my goals were like, okay, let me try to get into like Inferno speedrunning, let me get into duo top, let me learn how to do solo chambers. And it was like, okay, then I hit like 1K chambers, KC, and it's like, is this just what I do forever from now on? Like it got so stale that I was like, I'm just like, yeah, I could get better at these things, but
Or you
like
could do 12,000 Tob as well.
yeah. Yeah, so it just stopped becoming fun. And I don't know exactly like when I made my Iron Man or like what the breaking point was for me to try to do that, but I know that I started with my iron, and there were definitely moments where I was like, okay, this kind of sucks, because like some things you can't do until you get better gear, and you're just kind of like stuck, and it's like, okay, now I don't have staminas, and I have to like use my fucking super energies to try to get anywhere, and like this shit is awful, and I can't teleport anywhere yet, and I don't have fairy rings. And like at the beginning, like it's fun, and then it's like not fun, and then once you get into like being able to kind of like PVM and like raid a bit, then it gets fun again. But then it's also like, okay, I gotta do like my iron chores now, because I just finished my clan event. And I played so much. It was a 10-day event, and I took time off work. So I was playing like realistically like 14 hours a day. I was
Oh,
playing a
let's
lot.
go. You're a
It
gamer.
was terrible. I never wanted to play RuneScape again after that. Like I needed a break. It was a lot of RuneScape. And it's like on an iron, like you don't realize, like I think I went through like, I want to say like 60K blood runes, 70K blood runes, and like that like 10 days, because it's like when all you're doing is like Huey, and then you're going Top, and then you're going Nightmare, and then you're going, it's like you go through them so fast and you don't even like realize.
Yep.
So that was fun, but now that I'm done, it's like, okay, well now I gotta fish more anglers, and now I'm out of prayer pots, I have no more divine super combats, and now it's like, okay, I can't raid for a while because I need to get like all my supplies back up. And I think that does suck a little bit. Like right now I'm trying to get a blood shard, and
Horrible.
it sucks. It sucks, and I feel like I'm going to spend so much time doing this, and I don't enjoy any of this, and I just don't want to be here, but it's like it would be nice to have, so I'm going to just do it. But like that's the stuff that I still don't really like about Iron Man, that like some of it is just like really shitty. Like I never have enough snape grass to make prayer pots. Like I never, it's just like all this stuff where it's like I don't want to be doing farming contracts all the time. And I know that like I play an Iron Man, and yeah, I shouldn't be crying about that stuff. It's like part of it, but there is some of it that I don't enjoy. But overall, like it is a much, much, much better experience, a lot more fulfilling than playing my main.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, most people, as soon as they start, I mean, I'm getting sucked into the PVM arc right now on this account, so I can already feel that. It's like, now skilling is just not as appealing.
Yep.
But I still like the feeling of progression. And almost, I think one of the things that makes skilling, at least gathering skills, even farming is part of that, on an Ironman particularly, is how cool it can be to just stack up stuff that's genuinely going to have use later on. So,
Yeah.
I went to town for the first few months of this account, like doing all my farm contracts like regularly. And so I have like, I don't even know how much Snape cards, like 7,000 or something in the bank. And now it's just every time I get Renars, it's like Insta prayer pots. And there's like there's that cool feeling of like, as long as you stay somewhat consistent, or if you just go on a huge bulking kind of spree, it can feel so rewarding to stack up huge stacks of stuff, like especially like blood runes. Like if you just do like Scar Essence or whatever you're doing, or just even basic blood rune crafting, building that up is actually like kind of dopamine filled doing all that, even though it's skilling.
It definitely is. When the last DMM came out, I played that on my main, and I just fished anglers on my iron the entire time. And now I have like 5k anglers. Like I use them everywhere because I feel like I'm never gonna run out. Like it's very nice when you're in that situation. But at the same time, like because I work a full-time job, I can't play insane amount of time. So when I get home from work, do I want to go fish anglers? No, I want to go tob, or I want to like go do something that's actually going to help progress my account. So that's kind of where it like sucks, because your time is like sometimes so limited, and it's like on an iron. Like another thing I have to do is like I don't have a Pharaoh scepter on my iron yet. I don't want to do pyramid plunder. Like I don't want to go there, So it's like just stuff like that, where it's like it really does feel like chores. But in a sense, the one thing I do love about that is like you're like unintentionally maxing. True. Which is like crazy to me, because I never thought I would max an account. Like I hate skilling. My iron has already passed my main in total levels, and like just the stuff that I can do on here, there's stuff that I can't do on my main. So it's kind of crazy, because it's like I could genuinely see myself like eventually maxing this account, and a lot of it is just going to be passively. I'm not even going to realize that I'm doing it.
Yeah, that's one of the nice things. At least like pre-99, as soon as you are maxed, then you have to go for a blood shard. Fuck, that's the worst thing ever. So I mean, the blood shard whole thing, that is a separate thing, where like they just made a huge blunder making those things so rare in the first place. Why is it 1 in 5,000? What is that? I mean, you get 2, but like, like the enhanced crystal over at Prif is 1 in 1,000. Why didn't you just make the blood shards 1 in 1,000? Like, come on, just like, who at this point, there seems to be this idea that like certain things need to have a certain price because that's what the price is. And it's like, where are we coming up with that? I mean, blood shards back in the day used to be like 6 mil or something. I don't know how much they are right now. Are they like way over 12 mil or something? And actually, maybe they're more, maybe they're below 10 mil again or something. Anyway, I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what? If you had just from the get-go made it so blood shards were just way more common, like 1 in 1,000, which is still quite rare, to be honest. Thieving 1,000 is still a lot, but because we see it as the contrast between 1 in 5,000, 1 in 1,000, like, oh, that's way too common. I'm like, not really. You have to basically thieve for a full work day to get the blood shard drop. And that's when you
hit rage.
I know.
Like then you go dry, and it's like, oh, I'm 15k pickpockets, and I still don't even have one. It's like it's terrible.
I went 27,500 in between 2 different blood shard pickpockets on Sae Bae.
That's disgusting.
So it was like 5.5 times the rate. That is straight up a work week.
Yeah.
A work week clicking. And in the worst way possible. It's not just clicking. It's constantly eating and constantly doing whatever redemption you're doing, banking. And it's a full work week doing that, for obviously going 5x rate. But like that felt like pure hell. Like, what is this?
And now you just have 2. You do hard mode top for like a week or 2. Now you're back to virus.
Yeah, it was so dreadful. And yeah, they just made that shit way too rare. And there's so many different ways to go about it. People have thought about like the blood jelly or whatever. And people have thought about, I mean, even my idea, because I thought the whole idea behind the blood shard was it's like inception of like the idea was like an onyx sink, because we had so many places that were shitting out onyxes and nobody needs onyxes for anything. Like once you get your 4 Zenites. And I was like, okay, like, honestly, at this point, if they were to do something as simple as even just something more conservative, like making the blood shard rate from pickpocketing 1 in 2,500, and you get 2 of them. So just doubling the rate, that would already feel good. And then make it so onyxes charge the blood fury with maybe 5,000 charges. So yes, that would artificially kind of cap the price of a blood shard around 6 mil, because it would just be double. But at the same time, then for those Iron Men that just have a shit ton of GP and love the blood shard, just go buy chaos runes and buy onyxes. And at this point in the game, I'm like, dude, that sounds much better than what we currently have. And everybody wants, and people will say, because there's always the mains that are like, oh, you chose to limit yourself. I'm like, dude, we chose to limit ourselves, but we didn't choose to have like the worst drop rates of all time and the most masochistic methods come out for something that's like genuinely useful and fun to use. Like, why do we have to still have that mentality where it's like, no, you chose to suffer. I was like, well, come on, let's make this better. Yeah, that's my blood shard rant.
I'm fine with grinding for my stuff, but yeah, this is like excessive.
It is excessive. That's the biggest part. It's just it's a matter of hours. I talk all the time, so I'll refrain from talking about it on this podcast. But like nightmare rates, even now, even after so many buffs, like 6 separate buffs where they've buffed the rates of the items, it's still out of control, and that's just unfun. Like this is just a drop rate problem. The content would be so amazing if you would just triple the drop rates right now. Like it's like a 1 in 115. If this is a 1 in 42, like next rates, Nightmare would be one of the coolest places to grind. It would just be fun because you'd actually be seeing stuff. The items are not best in slot hardly anywhere. It's just Inquisitors, especially when Oathblade's coming out soon. Like Inquisitors is poopy. Like and we have an Elder Maul and we have a Horn coming out that's going to guarantee our specs. So Inquisitors is genuinely useful or useless. So like, please like fix that. And then the same thing goes with Chambers raids. And again, I said I'd refrain from talking about it. I'm already talking about it, but like, holy crap. Yeah, it's all just it's a drop rate thing. It's valuing people's time. And I think when we were, we just for one evening when and did Royal Titans, the drop rates there are so reasonable. These are not best in slot items, of course, so we can't compare it directly to like anything that's dropping best in slot stuff. But that was a piece of content where the devs truly, I think, cared enough to give the drop rate something that's very much valuing their players' time. Like this was beautiful. You don't have to sit here for 40 hours unless you want the pet. When you log in, you love pickpocketing Vyres. Like that's like your go-to activity right now, right? No.
That and CG. Yeah, my 2 favorite things in the game.
Oh my God, we haven't even touched on that.
Yeah.
Okay, can we you know what?
The tone has changed.
Let's just actually touch on CG, because you were actually a person I brought up on a cast multiple times actually at this point of your horrendous CG luck. That's genuinely disturbing. And you still don't have it yet, correct?
No, I do not.
So I don't
have the pet either.
I'm going to pull up this log for people to see this. 1,600 on here. You might actually be beyond that at this point. Have you done any more since?
Yeah, I have done a bit.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking you up. 1616. So over 1,600 corrupted gauntlets and 100 normal gauntlets. You were just testing the waters, right? You're just seeing like, oh, maybe the gauntlet and maybe normal gauntlet.
Yeah. I'm like, watch me get on a regular after 1,600. You never know.
36 armor seeds, not one enhanced, not one pet. And the worst part about this is you just know, like, you could go another 1,600. I mean, that's very, very rare, but it's like you don't know when it's going to happen. Like, when is it going to happen? You probably thought at 400 KC, oh, surely soon. Then at 1,000, you probably thought surely soon. It just hasn't happened yet. So how do you feel about this?
It sucks. It sucks going that dry on something that is just like a huge part of like an Ironman account. Like, I understand people played Ironman before BOFA was even a thing. So like, I get that. And obviously like I've progressed my account a lot without one, but it's like, it's an item that is like so huge for progression when it comes to an iron. Like, that is your step before the T-bow. So it's like to not have that really sucks. Like, that's why it took me so long to do Inferno and like all these other things that like I'm doing Toa with a crystal bow. I'm doing Bandos with a crystal bow. I'm like, it just sucks because it's like I can't do these things like efficiently because I don't have this. And I do feel like it hinders like a lot of my progress on things because it's something that is like huge for the account and for me to spend so much time there. Like it's not like a boss where it's like, oh, I'm going dry at like Serb and each kill takes me like a minute or two. Like it's like a full run takes like 8 or 9 minutes depending on how like efficient you're being. So to go that dry there, like it really sucks. It's really demotivating. I don't enjoy it. Doing, however many minutes of prep and then getting to the boss and then making a mistake and like dying, like it just sucks. It sucks and I'm just not having a good time there.
So what can they, is this just a thing where you just see it as you're just unlucky but CG is fine as is, or have you, I mean, because there has been more of an uprising of the people demanding some form of like dry protection. They've kind of experimented with certain systems, but there's a lot of people on Reddit especially that are like, we got to have some sort of system to prevent this kind of shit from happening. But then there's the other people that are more like the purists that are like, no, RuneScape needs to be the way it is. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, it's been like this for so long. Like you said, there's people who have gone like 3K KC and still don't have it. And at the end of the day, like to me, it is what it is. And like that's like what RNG is, right? Like there's so many things on my account. I got a 35 KC scythe. So it's like I'm over here fucking crying. I'm going to try at CG, but it's like I spooned a mega rare. So it's like it is what it is. And that's just how RNG is. Like you're gonna get lucky in some places and you're gonna go unlucky somewhere else. So I don't know. I just keep going until I get it.
Okay, well that's actually quite respectable, honestly. And you do recognize the places you have gone lucky. Yeah, that's.
I've gone lucky in a lot of places. Like I think I got a 3KC Dex with like an MSB and like a rune skim, like
that's the
leeching
dream.
at chambers. Yeah, I spooned my scythe with like terrible gear as well. I was leeching that raid too. I finished Serb by like 120 KC. I finished Sire by like 120 KC. Like I spent so much stuff early on in my account that it's like I feel like overall I really can't complain.
Yeah, like this was almost like deserved. Like you saw this one coming. Almost.
Yeah. And at least I'm going dry somewhere where like I make a shit ton of money.
That is so true. Like, yeah, that's good to recognize. I mean, this is the same thing. Like I'm going for like my Void Waker. I'm just missing the hilt. And I'm like, honestly, going dry on a Void Waker can be one of the worst things if you hate the wilderness. But at the same time, you make fucking bank.
You do. I'm also dry on hilts. Those like my two grinds right now is like Void Waker and Bofa.
Oh, but you have the other two. Do you have a gem in the blade?
I do.
Yeah, I mean, you saw my disgusting luck. I mean, I got the 29 KC blade in a trio. I wasn't even wearing a fucking salve because I forgot that a salve worked there. It was like my first time showing up or rolling up, and I pulled a blade and I went 3.5 times the rate there on Sae Bae for the blade. And so I was just not expecting that at all. And then I was like, oh my God, I can get a Void Waker. And then I went to Spindle, 19 KC gem at Spindle.
That's insane.
It's stupid. Like I was like, oh my God. So now I'm like, 400, 500 maybe RDO. So I'm not even rate. Actually, I'm over 500 for sure, but I'm not even rate yet. But there's actually a part of me that's like, I'm good. Like I'm cozy. Like I could go as dry as I want because Bear is ultimately like probably the most chill of the three.
But true, but still like Hayes. Like Canadian RS, right? Like I was watching him the other day because he's going for a Void Waker and he's at RDO like 4,500 KC.
Oh God.
So I'm like, yeah, like I might go a little dry, but I don't want to go that dry.
Yeah. But I'm at the point where like I don't have 99 construction yet, and so all those mahogany logs are just straight up like if I keep going dry. That and like the toad flax are really nice and everything else like the seeds, like it's all good. Like the drier I go, like yeah, it'll kind of suck, but at the same. Oh, and did you see my crossbow?
No, I didn't.
I got a crossbow like a few days ago. And so like now bear is like hella chill. I haven't even done it yet with the crossbow
I was
because
just
I'm
going
waiting
to
for a
ask
bear
what you're
task.
killing it with.
I was killing it with a rune, or I was killing it with a rune crossbow, and then I got the ACB, so I started using the ACB, and I'd bring like a ruby and a diamond switch, and I'd use the ACB spec to try to hit a ruby, which was fine. But yeah, now with the crossbow, if I get a task, it's going to be disgusting. So I'm really at the point now where I'm like, yeah, I can go as dry as anything. I'll be fine. Not 4,500 dry. I'm just thinking like 2,000. That's what's on my mind. But yeah.
Did I ever show you my Revs luck?
I don't think so. Do you have an image?
That was probably the luckiest I have ever been and will ever be on this game. Let me find a picture for you.
Okay, I need to see this.
Kind of nutty.
Was this on task? What was this all after the whole like task system rework where it's like 5x rate? Did you even do task or was it off task stuff? And were you scold or not?
These were on task scolds.
Okay. All of them, you're saying, like basically everything you do. Oh.
Yeah.
My God. Okay, I'm gonna pull.
Yeah, nothing like that has ever happened to me before. And then unscold, because I wanted to use the crossbow at Revs when I got it. I went back to Revs unscold because I didn't want to risk it, and I got a dupe chain mace unscold. Probably like 30 KC later.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
All three. Did you get any like statuettes or relics?
2 and 2 crystals.
What tier of statuettes?
Like the low ones.
Oh, okay. 2 crystals. Oh, you know that's actually one of the cool things about Revs is as long as you can spoon or relatively quickly pull a weapon, preferably a bow or a mace, preferably the bow, which I got so lucky. I'm so glad I got the bow. I actually kind of wanted the mace because I already had the Claws of Callisto. So I could just like insta pimp it out, but my strength gear is just not good, and having to run to kill stuff isn't fun. Using the crossbow is much better. But now at this point, it's like I am seeing Revs as going for my obelisk now, and just getting ether too. So me ever doing Revs now is just like the weapons. Hopefully, I'll get the next 2 weapons. I'd love the mace. But the whole time I'm just thinking I just need to get 4 crystals because that obelisk in the house is so nice. It's so convenient.
Is. Yeah. I hate Revs though. I just like because I spoon them, ether has like always been an issue.
Oh,
for
you're
me.
right.
So I'm always struggling. So I feel like I'm always back at Revs trying to get more ether, and like I get PK'd there so much. It is so frustrating. And then remember when we went to Callisto on your stream that one night, and then I died and I lost all my ether. And I had like nothing left after that. Like I'm to the point where I have like 0 ether. Like I'm going back with like an MSB because like I'm cleaned.
They have an update. I don't know if you saw this. There's a blog post where they're gonna allow you to trade in those statuettes for ether.
I saw that, and that's why I have not turned any of them in ever.
Good. You're smart for having done that. I'm probably not going to turn mine in either. I really hope they double the amount though, because the amounts they've proposed is really low.
Well, that's how I feel because I broke down my dupe chain mace for ether. And I thought it was going to be crazy. Like Zora. I know. I thought it was going to be like Zora where I get like 20,000. I got 7,500.
Oh, that's it?
And I felt scammed. Yeah. I'm like 7,500. Oh. You could go through that in like a day. Like that is like nothing. That's nothing.
Yeah, that is nothing.
So that needs to be buffed, like for sure. Like I don't know why they made it that little. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think the statuette thing, they have a really good opportunity here. Like what they're doing right now is fine, but I think it would be a missed opportunity to not double the amount. Because one, there'd be less GP being flooded into like, I guess this is mainly an Ironman issue anyway, so it's not like it makes that big of a deal. But like, I just think it's just a healthier thing to allow people to really just feel like they can use their weapons. And you still have to do revs for the ether, but pulling a 16 mil relic, if you get lucky enough to get that, Right now, I think it trades into 32,000 ether. I really think that should be 64,000. That would feel so good to do that. Like, can you imagine 64,000 ether in one drop? And then it's also a nice thing because, I mean, people will still break it down regardless, even at its current amount. But there is more of an incentive to just keep the GP for some people. Like, that's kind of for some people, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think for me and you, it would just be like, no, it's going straight to ether no matter what it is. But I really hope they double it. Ugh. I mentioned that, I think, in one of my rambles. I hope they listen. I don't know if they will. Yeah, but you're right. Ether is such a bitch to upkeep. I only have like 30,000. And I'm like, yeah, this is going to go by in like literally like a matter of a few tasks if I camp Wildy Slayer for a day or two.
100%. I think before my clan event, because Revs was like on the board, I think I went and got like 15 bracelets or something, because I'm like, oh, that should last me a little bit. Like one night, gone, all gone.
Yeah, that's horrible.
And that's even like on task and like using the scepter. Like you go through it so fast.
You know what would be cool? Again, they don't need to do any of this. It's just me spitballing, but it would almost be cool to like talk to the, you know how like at Royal Titans you can decide to like just take pages instead of loot. Maybe you could talk to like the Wildy trader dude, the little green hooded guy, and just like have a toggle where it's like, don't give me any rev loot, just give me bracelets at an increased chance.
Yeah,
so it's like significantly increased, and then you don't get any normal loot. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, because at this point, I don't even really like the loot is cool, but I don't need it for anything.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, I don't know. Going back to the CG thing, I hope you get that eventually, because you're right. It does lock people out of the accounts. I talked to Mod Arcane last year and Mod Husky. I think it was actually Mod Husky that was saying, not just the previous cast a couple episodes ago, but like back last year, he was just saying like that's just kind of what the game is at the end of the day. Like you're gonna not get the thing you really need, and it sucks, but it's almost like there's so much other variety. You don't need that thing in particular, and if you go do another piece of content, you'll eventually get something. Which I definitely get. It's just really upsetting when people will actually spend years potentially not getting a pixel item in a video game. Like, it's just weird. It's like, this is not how RuneScape ever was. Back in the day, the rarest things in RuneScape were like God Wars. Or I guess if you wanted to make the most extreme example, it was a Draconic Visage. It's like 1 in 10,000 from dragons, but like even that doesn't even come close. If you were to just camp dragons, if it doesn't even come close to like some of the mega rares at raids and stuff.
Yeah.
And that was the most extreme example. Most upgrades you would see as, I mean, look at God Wars. If you want tacits, it's like 1 in 381 for tacits for that specific item. If you just want a Bandos piece, it's, double that, or 1 in 190 or something. And you can, if you're good at Bandos and you have good gear these days, like going for specifically tacits on rate doesn't even take 20 hours if you're efficient at it. Like it actually doesn't. Again, like if you're a mid-game account and you're struggling, that's a different story. But that's
with my crystal bow, I'm also kind of struggling.
No, I mean, I'm struggling too. I mean, it's just like when you're but if you are efficient, and again, everything is and I'm bringing up the efficient hours because when people are like, oh, the T-bow's fine, they're talking about the rates in efficient hours. And most people that are going for their T-bows are not doing it efficiently. They probably don't have a T-bow to work with in the first place.
Yeah.
So most people, when they hear the hours, 400 hours for a T-bow, I think it's even shorter than that if you're like really good at chambers or you're doing like the scaled and whatever. But if you're just doing like your solos in medium gear, you got Arams and a Trident and whatever else, you are straight up looking at like 600 hours for an item.
Yeah.
And then you go 2 times rate or 4 times rate or whatever rate. And it's like, okay, this is stupid. Like, why is this so insane? So
Yeah, I see how like endgame irons can get like burnt out in that sense because I've like seen it before. It's like, okay, I pretty much have everything except a scythe. So now I have to do like thousands of tobs without a scythe just to get this one item that I need. And that's like what you do every day because that's what you need.
Hmm.
And that kind of sucks.
Do you feel like you'll hit a point where you maybe have maxed or something and you're not going to enjoy the account anymore? Like, have you had any desire lately to even think of making a like a baby hardcore or baby iron or something? Or are you
I
just
have a like a hardcore.
okay?
I don't think it's like that far along. I think that's like fighter torso and it's like I don't know, 1400 total or something, but I don't think hardcore is for me. Like I don't safe up, I die everywhere. I just don't pay attention too much. So I just know I would die and it would just be an iron. But as far as like making another iron, it's like, well then I gotta go to CG, don't I? So it's like, no, thank you. Right? Like wouldn't I want a BOFA on another
Yeah,
iron? Like wouldn't
yeah.
that be a huge part of the account? And so I
You could
just
skip
right
it.
now I
I'm
don't see the
skipping it.
point.
Yeah, you're right though. It's uh
I was just watching when I got home when I was waiting for us to start this call. I was like catching up on some of the YouTube videos and the series that I watch. And I've been watching Lemoy's like PvP hardcore Iron Man.
mm,
And I'm watching this episode and he's like, I'm gonna start CG today. My first KC, let's see what I get. Enhanced crystal. And I'm like,
no.
no fucking way. And then and then a few like you see him like cycle through like a few KC and then he opens the chest. Hunliff, pet, 7
What?
KC.
A 1 KC enhanced and a 7 KC pet.
Yes, yes.
I'm so sorry. You had to watch that.
Oh my god. I'm like, that's crazy. Before he even got like anything else, pet and enhanced. And I'm like, I don't even have either. But I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. And like I said, I know I can play the game without a BOFA. Like I've done a lot of content and
Hmm.
I feel like I'm fairly far along on my account without it. So it's definitely doable. And who
I
knows,
rem-
maybe I'll just get a Tebow before I get the BOFA.
that's a good question. I mean, that's what Sae Bae did. 20 KC Tebow. We were balling.
I don't know if
Um,
I can spoon 2
yeah.
megas though.
I, you, who knows? I spooned a shadow. Well, not total spoon like the Tebow, but it was like 160 or something for my shadow experts. It's pretty chill. Um, yeah, I remember kind of earlier on Sae Bae, on that account, like I remember getting so jealous of people's drops. Like it would sometimes piss me off, like seeing people get stuff undeserved.
Yeah.
Especially when I was doing the nightmare grind, which I like alluded to earlier. When I would see people pull early maces, I would genuinely like it would actually like tense me up. Like I would start like getting all tense and just like pissed off. I was like, this is just so undeserved. And I'm really glad I'm past. I'm trying to even think the last time I've ever been jealous of anybody's drops. I think I'm in a great position where it's like I've gotten most drops already on an account. So there isn't really that element of jealousy I really get. And now I'm just doing my own thing where there's really no competitive side to it whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is so much better to play. Like I can just congratulate people on their drops.
Exactly. Yeah. And
Mhm.
I like when I started going for CG, I had like a lot of friends who were doing it with me. And a lot of my friends went really dry there. Like I have a lot of friends 1200 KC, 1300, 1400 before
Oh
they got
God.
it. And like my last like pretty much everyone got it except for me. I'm like the only one that's still there, but I had one other friend who's also been going for it. And he just passed 1200 KC. And then I think around like 1300 or something, he got it. And he's like messaging me and he's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, look, you fucking grinded for that shit. And even if you didn't, like watching that YouTube video and seeing him get a 1 KC enhanced, I'm like, that's just insane. Like, am I jealous? Of course, because I don't want to be here anymore. But at the same time, I'm like, I I'm here to watch this guy play on a PvP hardcore Iron Man, and that's, like, sick that he just got, like, a huge upgrade for his account, and he's a hardcore, like, nobody wants to be, like, risking their account in CG if they don't have to be there, so it's like, I don't
Yeah.
know, I can still be happy when people get the drop that I want, Like my friend got it and I'm like, I'm glad you don't have to be here anymore. Like I'm so happy for you that you're done.
Yeah, no, it's good. And it's also nice, like doing, like when I start doing TOA on this account, I've completely decided like I'm just doing team TOA the whole time. There's no way I'm doing solo TOA. It's just not fun. But I'm totally prepared to see people get drops, and I get the idea that like somebody else getting a drop really doesn't affect what happened to you because you wouldn't have gotten the drop. It's like I kind of see it as other people getting drops does not mean it was taken from me. It's just not how it works in my head anymore, which is a better way to see it. When you have that mentality where it's like people are stealing the drops from you, it's just so toxic. So, well, I do wish you the best of luck on that.
I'm sure I'll get it soon. Every Casey I open and I'm like, this is the one. Pet right here. And I've been saying that for 1,600 kills. One day I'll be right.
Now, you mentioned wait, who is this YouTuber you were just talking about?
Lemoy.
I'll have to check. I definitely heard that name. I don't think I'm subscribed. Do you watch any other like YouTubers? Are you mostly like still on Twitch watching? Or are you kind of like how much OSR's content do you even consume in the first place?
I feel like I go through phases. Like I'm like 2 months behind on like YouTube content because I just don't go on there that often. So I'm just like trying to catch up on stuff now. But sometimes I just feel like watching movies and shows, and I'm not on Twitch at all. I'm not on YouTube. Like if I'm doing anything RuneScape, it's just playing, and that's pretty much it. So it varies a bit. But I do watch other people on YouTube. I'm obsessed with PvP hardcore Ironman series. Like those I'm super, super, super big on. I went back and like binged every single possible one I could find. So now like I watch because so Lemoy is doing one because he started his PvP hardcore, and I think he was like locked to like wildy only is how he kind of started. So he just wanted to complete every single item in the wilderness before he like went and did anything else on the account. So he did that, and then now he's just on PvP Worlds playing it, which is still sick to me. Like I love the intense aspect of like it's already a hardcore, you already can't die in PVM, but now it's like he'll literally get out of like a CG kill and someone's like Void Waker specking him like as soon as he walks out, and it is like fucking crazy. It's crazy to me to watch. It is
God.
like just so entertaining and like such good content. I love watching stuff like that. I went back and watched like solo missions, PvP Hardcore Iron Man. Sea Engineer had one a while ago, and now he's redoing it. So I'm watching his. So I'm really into that kind of content. There's also somebody named Teletubby Kid. I don't know if you know.
No.
Teletubby King, I think. But he also had PvP Hardcore Iron Man series. He's probably like the only one I would say that kind of like beat it, I guess. Like he pretty much got everything. Got a T-bow, got like Staff of the Dead. Pretty much every time anyone tried to kill him, they just like couldn't, like he pretty much like finished it out to the point where like whatever his bounty was, he kind of just like did like a tank test against PKers, and whoever did the most damage, he gave them the bounty, and he just continued the account on because it was like so far progressed and had so much stuff as a hardcore. So it was like he'd rather just enjoy it that way. But his hardcore ended up dying, and now he like has like a new hardcore Iron Man series. So I've been watching like his stuff. So that's like mostly what I would say I watch. I'm also a huge fan of solo missions. I watch a lot of his stuff.
You got to meet him, right? In
did.
Vegas? Nice.
He's my RuneScape celebrity crush.
He's great. He's awesome.
Yeah, I met him at TwitchCon.
He's got great style as well. He's always wearing like his the times I've seen him, because I met him in Tennessee earlier that year before TwitchCon 2023. Okay. And he always has like these nice like flared pants that are like checkered or something like going on. It's great. I fucking love it. And he's just, British and tall, and he's just great. He's got that solo mission. One of the coolest things actually of meeting those creators was like you hear their voices on videos And like meeting C Engineer, for example, like meeting him in
Yeah.
person, that was great. And I literally, I'm still embarrassed that I was a little bit drunk, but I was embarrassed. I was like, can you just do the collection log completed?
Yeah.
And he said it.
He's
And I
probably like, you're the 100th person to ask me. He's probably so
yeah,
sick of that.
I felt a little embarrassed because you could just tell he was just almost like, all right, collection log completed. And I was like,
Yeah.
there it is in person. But yeah, solo mission was amazing to meet. I mean, Bodhi, is that you got to meet Bodhi, right?
To be completely honest, like Bodhi was there, but I've never watched Bodhi's stream. I don't
Mm.
really know much about Bodhi.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of with you. Like I never like regulared his streams at all, but I obviously it's like it's Bodhi, so it's just like I want to meet him. But he's great. I have nothing but positive to say about the guy. He's just really humble, and one of the cool things was like in Orlando last year we had like a little base meetup, and like people were mostly partying inside, kind of doing whatever they were doing, and I was like outside by the hot tub by myself, just like checking my phone because I was like sending some messages to somebody, and it was just a nice like warm evening. And like Bodhi came out, like nobody else did, but like Adam came out, and he's just like just checking on me, and like the fact that he would like do that, it just is like it's so cool. Like he's just like such a like genuine person that's
Yeah.
not just what you would imagine some like internet kind of celebrity to be. Like he truly cares about people, and like when he goes up to anybody, like he'll always like put his like hand around you and stuff. Like he's just like a good person. It was great vibes, and most of the OSR's creators I've met are just super genuine people.
100% agree. Yeah.
And you, I mean, we've talked as well. Like I mean, you're one of those people that like you want to like form meetups and stuff with OSRS people. Like you've had really positive experiences generally with like meeting with people.
Yeah, I've met a lot of like people that I've, met through RuneScape, and it's kind of been like awesome to have like online connections and then also like in person with people that you
Mhm.
met over a video game.
Yeah, no, it's like surreal. For me, it was really surreal because it's like a lot of creators you're seeing for the first time. You've just seen them on
Yeah, TwitchCon
screens.
like kind of blew my mind because I was like, I don't even know if I feel like going to this shit. And, like, I don't know how I feel. And then like going and just seeing everybody, like, like these are just people who like play a video game and like they're good at it and they're entertaining and like they put out good content and stuff. But it's like I didn't think I would be like, oh my god, I'm so excited. Oh my god, can I have a picture with you, Soup and C Engineer and Reese? And like it's like yeah, it is very surreal.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool meeting you in person in Vegas because again, it had been like over 4 years since I saw you as a streamer,
Yeah.
like for the first time. And so like it was just such a surreal experience. And like I always am just giving huge props to Based for like setting that up. Like there was 100 content creators slash adjacent like viewers and whatever there
Yeah.
at that place, like at one time. I think at like the climax of the event, like everybody, like the PvPers were there, the YouTubers were there, the Twitch people were there, like
Everybody. Yeah.
J
Everybody
mods
was
were there,
there.
like Sween and Aiza pulled up. Like it was crazy. It was just amazing. And every single person you reach, like you see, it's like, oh my god, like there's Rice Cup, like oh my
I
god,
know.
there's
Yeah.
Travis
Rice Cup
42.
was
There's
so cool. Yeah.
yeah. It was just amazing. It's like, oh my god, there's Abyss like just chilling over there, and then like it's like every single person is just there.
Yeah.
It was
It was like a
amazing.
very weird experience, but in like the best way possible. It's like all these people that I've met throughout the years, like we're just all under the same roof together hanging out. And every room I walk into, it's like, oh my god, hey, oh my god, what's up? Oh my god, it's
Yeah.
Alyssa. Oh my god, it's a cold one. Oh my god, it's like everywhere you go, it's like oh, all my friends are here, and all these people that I've known and like have watched or have like followed their journey for like 5 or 6 years. It's crazy.
Now you didn't go to RuneFest this year, right?
No.
Would you go to one of those if it was like wherever it would be, London or whatever, like another year?
I I don't know, because even, like, with TwitchCon, like, I never thought I would have any interest in, like, doing anything like that, and
Mm,
I obviously didn't go to the convention, I just went to, like, the after parties and stuff, and it was a lot more enjoyable of an experience than I expected it to be, but I don't know if I would, like, travel to another continent just for, like, a RuneScape meetup like that,
yeah,
I guess. Like, it was convenient for me because, like, I live in
yeah,
Vegas and it
yeah,
was here. So it's like I could go to work and then, like, come home and party with everyone all night, like, it was very, very convenient for me, but even then, like, I still don't know if I would, like, go to San Diego and take time off work and rent a place and, like, all that just to kind of experience that again. Like, it was a great time, but I just don't know if I would do all that for that experience again.
for sure. And it's a lot of money.
It is,
The
yeah.
Las Vegas thing, I mean, it's just you just drive over there, and you're good.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping because RuneFest is very expensive for me, and so it's like if accommodations aren't made for like being a content creator, it's definitely much harder to justify an expense like flying over there, booking stuff, and everything else. And I've never been across the Atlantic, so like that's like a whole experience, and it's just a lot. Like, so I wasn't able to go this time, but like I would love to experience that because like I am a content creator currently as well, so it's like it means more to like actually build those kind
Yeah,
of connections and stuff.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Um, you know, one of the topics I kind of wanted to touch on during this was we're both like foodies. Um,
Yes.
and we've obviously talked about this in other calls, but like um in fact, one of the I think the reason it just came to my mind was I was thinking of those mozzarella sticks from Chili's that you took a picture of, and
Yeah.
I follow so many YouTube food reviewers. Like that is like probably it's like RuneScape, some food reviewers, and then like just some other channels scattered around. But like all of the shorts that I get are like food reviews, and so I'm always following people like showing off the new menu items. And the Chili's thing, it had like this whole like 3 week kind of like thing where it was like the hottest thing basically. Like everybody was
Yeah.
reviewing these mozzarella sticks, and there's these fat rectangles. I mean, if anybody's not American listening to this, like these are just, I mean, this is America. I mean, these things are just massive and just so much cheese in it and fried, and they got like
And
some
then
hot
dunked
sauce.
in
Yeah.
ranch and yeah, like, as unhealthy as it could be, but in the best way possible. Like,
And
it's worth having a heart attack over.
oh
Like,
yeah, oh
they're
yeah.
good.
It
They're
looked
good.
it looks amazing. And we don't have any chilies here. That's a problem. I don't even know if there's any
Yeah,
chilies in Oregon. Let me look.
that's crazy. You know, it's so funny because, like, somebody in my clan that I've, like, befriended, he also is obsessed with Chili's. So we talk about Chili's all the time, and he just messaged me tonight, and he's like, "I think I'm gonna go get Chili's tonight." And I said, "Good, you deserve it." And then he's messaging me, and he said, "Oh, they have a new menu item. It's their Reese's peanut butter pie." And I'm like, "Actually, that's not new because I've had it twice before." I'm like, "I'm a freaking expert when it comes to Chili's." And then this morning, he sends me a YouTube video, and it's about the CEO from Chili's talking about how, like, they changed the menu and how they did all these new things to make the business booming, and now I'm watching a 15-minute YouTube video about the Chili's CEO talking about the business, and, like,
I think I may
it's
have
so
seen that as
funny.
well,
Did you?
actually. Yeah, I think I may have.
It's so funny.
No,
So funny.
it's like
Yeah, like
this because the video was talking about like how great Chili's is doing now, but they were on a decline for years.
yes.
And
Yeah.
a lot of those kind of more chain restaurants that were just slightly more upscale than fast food were all like struggling. And so they're now trying to. What's really crazy is like when you look at DoorDash, because I was definitely a huge DoorDash fanatic. I deleted it in November and I haven't re-downloaded it since. And that was just for my own. Like I have a car now, I can drive and get food. I don't need to be ordering everything. But
Do you feel this is
yeah.
somewhat off topic, sorry to interrupt, but do you feel like since you stopped doing that, you're saving a lot of money, or do you feel like the money you're saving, you're just spending on something else?
Um, the because I will still eat out. Like one of my New Year's resolutions was to stop eating out. That lasted maybe like 5 weeks, and then
Entirely?
it was not entirely. It was going to be, I can only eat out if it's with people. So it was like an incentive to do more social things with people. Like even if it's just family, like if it's, I can eat out as much as I want, but it has to be with people. So if I can't do it alone, I can't order anything. I can't go out by myself and grab food. And again, I already, like, it took like 5 weeks. It's like, I feel like as soon as February hits, it's like, oh, well, it's not the new year anymore. So just everything
I'll try
goes,
again next year.
Yeah, honestly. But no, I do try to sort of balance it a little bit, because the big thing for me was like, okay, I want to get a little bit better at cooking. I have plenty of time. I'm a content creator, so it's like I'm not really pressed for time. And I have the luxury of, I could spend an hour cooking a good lunch that's fun, and learn a new recipe or whatever. And that's obviously been a struggle. Like it sounds great in theory, and then you start doing it, you're like, it was actually a lot of time and effort. But I'm trying to just eat more like grocery store stuff. Like go to the grocery store, get some stuff, have food in the house. Because as soon as there's no food in the house, it's like, okay, I'm going to fucking Chick-fil-A, or I'm going to wherever else. Yeah. And then that ends up being like a perpetual thing where it's like, okay, now it's like something in the afternoon, now something in the evening, and then it ends up being like eating out twice a day. And it's like, okay, I really don't need to do that. It is money. I still spend a decent amount of money at the grocery store. I'm not like, I will buy the stuff I want to get. Like I go for the fucking Honey Crisp apples. I splurge on like the good stuff, and I'll get the brand name stuff. So I don't even.
Relatively healthy. It's kind of like more expensive to eat healthy than it is to eat like
it kind of
shitty food, right?
It kind of can be, especially because I'm like, just the other day, like I bought an 8-pack of kiwis, like fruit, and that shit was like $6.50 for 8 of them. Like I know that's not crazy or anything, but I mean, I'll eat those. I mean, that's like a kiwi. It's like a fucking, like, I don't even know, like 50 calories or something. It's like I'm spending a lot of money on like these kinds of just more like, I don't know, that's not even the most egregious example, but like I'll just buy stuff and I end up just spending actually quite a bit compared to like if I just pulled up to a fast food joint, I'd spend $10 and I'd, maybe have a meal and leftovers. And I'll go to the store and I'll buy like chicken, and that ends up being like $15, or eggs, and that's $9 or something. And it's like, am I really saving money? I don't really even know. But yeah, I do. It's mainly for like the health thing, and it's also just to try to save money and not just eat. I think it's also just the sodium intake from all the fast food. Like I definitely have more of a tendency for like gut inflammation, and so when I eat out a lot. And dairy also is like a huge thing that like inflames my gut. And a lot of the time when I'm eating out, it's like I'm going for the cheesy stuff. Like give me the cheesy, greasy everything. Like, and then I end up just feeling sick and bloated and just like, oh God, why am I doing this to myself? But
I get that. I definitely eat out way too much.
But for you, are you in any sense like worried about the cost of it? Like, do you stress out about how much you eat out, or are you actually okay with doing that because that's something you enjoy?
It's definitely something that I enjoy, and I don't really like stress about it. Like I'm not always going to like, 5-star restaurants and stuff like that all the time, because that I definitely can't afford. But, like I go out to like nice places like here and there. Or just like treat myself sometimes, or I go and get like fast food sometimes for lunch when I'm working, and I'm really like not stressed about it. I do wish I ate a little bit healthier, because if I was spending money on something, I'm gonna get whatever I want. Like it's hard for me to like justify going to like a nice restaurant and just getting a salad, because I'm like, I can make that shit at home for like $10,
Exactly,
like, and have like salad for the week. Like, so it's hard for me to justify that. So when I go out, I definitely don't eat healthy. That's the only thing that I feel like I would maybe change. But other than that, I don't think I'm like stressed about it.
And this just came to my mind because I know we've talked like, just my living situation compared to yours. Like I live alone. So when I get food, like I have the kitchen to myself at all times. Every bit of food in my entire pantry and fridge is all mine. So there's not this like
Yeah.
weird, because I remember living with my brothers and roommates in college and stuff, and it's just like getting groceries was genuinely stressful because I knew people would steal it, or like somebody would. It's like hard to know whose stuff is whose, and you're sharing cabinets and everything, and that becomes, and then people don't clean the dishes, or something's going on, and that just ends up being like, you know what, I'm not going to deal with any of this fucking headache. I'm just going to go eat out somewhere. And so I'm trying to like take advantage of like what I do have. It's like living alone, it's so much easier to get groceries because I'm getting everything for myself. I know exactly what's in my apartment at all times, and this is so much better. But I know for you, it's like
Yeah.
living with other people. That's just,
Yeah. And I do think if I lived alone, I probably would cook at home more and spend more time alone. I am just like sometimes like the most antisocial person. I just don't want to interact with anybody. I just don't want to do like a lot of the times when I've been going out to eat at like nice restaurants, I go alone. Like I don't even want like friends there. I don't want to talk to anybody. Like I just want like peace and quiet and I just want to be like alone. So for me it's like it's hard to want to like cook when I know like there might be an interaction or somebody else needs to cook and now I got to pause like what I'm doing or like move my stuff so they can also cook and like it would be a lot nicer if I had like my own space because I do prefer to be alone.
yeah. We definitely talked about that as well, of like eating out alone, because that's something that's terrifying for me. Like
You
still, I'm
you
just,
want to hear like a funny story? So the
yeah.
other night, it was kind of like a shitty day at work, and I was like, you know what? Like, food is definitely like my therapy and my comfort. So I was like, I want to go to like a nice restaurant. So I went to this Italian place by my house, and I got like their it's like their tasting menu. So it's like an appetizer, entree, and dessert. And I don't even really drink, like, ever, and I definitely do not drink wine. I am just, like, not a fan of wine. But I was like, "You know what? I've had a day, and for, like, $30, I could add the wine tasting onto the thing." And I was like, "You know what? Fuck it, let's try some wine, you know, maybe I'll try something that I actually do like." And so I went to this dinner by myself, this, like, nice Italian place. I ordered all this food, I got all this wine, I was drinking, I was feeling great. Honestly, I don't think I could have had a better night. And I was by myself the entire I was there for like 2.5 hours. I was having the time of my life. It was amazing. The food was good. I actually enjoyed the wine. One of the glasses of wine I didn't like, so my server ended up giving me a shot instead. It was like a strawberry lemonade shot, and that was so good too. I had a great time. And then when it's time to pay the bill, my server comes over to me and he says, "Do you believe in angels?" And I'm like, "Is this dude about to, like, hit on me right now?" Because that's what I was expecting. And he goes, "The table that was sitting, like, over the people sitting at that table over there, they gave me $50 to put towards your bill."
Oh my God.
Yeah, and he's like, "They didn't want me to tell you until they left the restaurant, but I just wanted to let you know." And I was like, "Well, I'd rather you take the $50 and you keep it as, like, a tip." And he's like, "I
Oh.
already applied it to your bill because that's what they told me to do." And I was not expecting
That is
that.
so
And
fucking wholesome, like all
it's
around. Like what
It's
the?
very nice, but at the same time, I'm like, I hope they don't, like, pity me because it's like, "Oh, she's there by herself," because, like I said, I had a great fucking
Yeah.
time, you know? So it's
Yeah.
like, I hope that's not why they were, like, giving me money. My friend was saying too that maybe they thought I got, like, stood up because I came from work, I was in a dress and heels. So he's like, "Maybe they
Mm.
thought you got stood up and you were here by yourself, so they felt bad." But I'm like, "Nobody needs to feel bad for me because I'm having the best time."
Yeah. That's amazing. And I think, yeah, it must just kind of be the culture, like especially if you're dressed up and you're there alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
It could be like, okay, she should have a date next to her, right? Like that's probably
Yeah,
what
I
people
feel
are
like it's
thinking.
not common for people to go eat alone, which is, like, crazy to me because that's, like, honestly, when I, like, enjoy myself the most. I can get whatever I want. There's, like, no judgment. I don't have to share my food with anybody. Like,
Yep.
I can stay as long as I want. I can, like, take my time. I can, like I don't have to have a conversation while I'm trying to, like, eat my food. Like, it's yeah, it's just nice. I can be on my phone. I can message people without feeling like that's rude because I'm at
True.
the dinner with company.
That's true. And I mean, Las Vegas has so many options. You got like everything there. You got Michelin star
Yeah.
restaurants as well. Like, have you been to any Michelin star restaurants?
No, I haven't. I've
Oh, I'm
noticed, like,
surprised.
personally, like, I've
Hmm.
never been to a Michelin star restaurant, so, like, I could be wrong in that sense, but, like, I've gone to a lot of, like, the fancier restaurants on the Strip, the nicer, the most expensive, the like, Bobby Flay and like Gordon Ramsay and like whatever, you know, they all have their like restaurants.
Yeah.
In my opinion, there's like way better, way cheaper, not on the strip restaurants than like any of those. Like I feel like they're all extremely overrated. So that's like my fear with going to like a Michelin star restaurant, that I would have the same experience but pay like 5 times more for
Yeah.
like food that's not even like mind blowing.
That's true. And I mean, because I was just thinking to myself, like, if money wasn't an object, because that's the thing. Like, I mean, I've been to one Michelin star restaurant that was in Orlando, and like, we were there with 25 people, and like the bill ended up coming out to like $550 each, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I was not expecting this, but it's just like how expensive all the alcohol is and everything else, and but I will say, like, when I've heard, because my brother-in-law and sister went to New York, and they went to like the only, I'm pretty sure it's the only 3-star Michelin vegan restaurant in the world, or maybe in the US. And it was just like all vegan apparently. And they just were raving about it afterward. They were telling me about like how amazing the experience was. And like, it wasn't even about the food per se. Like, they loved the food, but like the experience of just complete professionalism from the whole team. Like, they even got a tour afterward of like the kitchen, and like they went to the kitchen. It was like fucking so clean and smelled amazing, and everyone there is like silent. They're like soldiers, kind of like they all walk in these patterns and stuff. And I think just that experience could be like really cool, even like for a 1-person type thing. But I'm sure to spend that money, you definitely want to have company to share it with. But
yeah, I don't know. Like, okay, yeah, like great service, like perfect service is obviously like amazing, but I would forego the service and the ambiage for better food any day.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and that's not to discount the food for sure, but they just like the overall experience for sure.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's why a lot of people love those places, because it's just like a very amazing, well-rounded experience that you're really not going to get anywhere else. And I totally get that, but it's like $500 for a dinner when I could like go to like my favorite steakhouse like 5 times. And get like steak and lobster every time. It's like,
I get exactly what you want to, because that's the difference. I think well, I don't actually know how those Michelin star restaurants, I mean, the one I went to is just like, okay, I have no say in what I'm actually going to be served here, but I don't know if they do that and like make accommodations, or if it's just like a set menu. But yeah, I'm surprised that you haven't been to one. Like, do you have any desire to at least experience it? Because isn't there has to be a 3-star there in Las Vegas, right? I don't know, maybe a couple. I think
there's probably Michelin star restaurants here.
There definitely are. I'm trying to think if there's a 3-star one though. Like, you may as well get like the fanciest experience. Not to say like those stars are always like indicative of like the actual experience, but like, I don't know, I would do it. And do it solo too. Fuck it.
It's definitely not on my like to-do list for sure.
So you're not like a tasty / tea papa like connoisseur of these restaurants where it's like every Based After Dark episode, I swear they're talking about like the new like what's the next restaurant they're going to that's like super 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 fancy.
Yeah, well, I guess when you have like money like that,
you got the behemoth money rolling
conversations,
in. I know, for real.
I'm not on that level. I work a 9 to 5.
Yeah. God damn it.
Like, I don't need my dinner to be like as much as my rent. You know what I mean? Like, we got to be realistic a little bit.
I know. Yeah. I mean, at this point, I'm like, I don't think I'd ever go to another Michelin star restaurant unless I was very much in a better financial position. Like that, the one I did, we had back-to-back dinners lined up. We had a Michelin star and then a really fancy place that was going to cost like $200 something. And I was just begging a cold one at the Airbnb to just fucking, I wasn't begging him. He actually gladly just did it after asking him once. But in my head, I was about to start begging people to like take this fucking reservation from me, because I'm like, I was expecting the first night to maybe be $250 and then it ended up being $550, and I cannot afford another fucking dinner where I'm already full from last night. Just fork out another $200, and then it might even be more. Like, I was expecting less the last night. So
exactly.
But yeah, he took my reservation And I was like, you're a legend for that. That was stressing me out so bad. Yeah, but it was a fun experience for sure. It was definitely worth it, being all there with like amazing company and just getting like
Yeah.
really drunk and just being like, I don't know. It was just great. It was a great experience. Yeah. Is there anything like in particular you would love to try one day? And like, what is your like food of choice? Like, cause like I'm like a huge seafood fan, but, and like sushi is like my go-to if I'm trying to get something semi fancy.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I'm pretty big on seafood too. Like the places that I usually go to eat is either like seafood boil or like Korean barbecue. Those I'm like very big on. Or
Mm,
like just like buffets. Like there's great buffets here in Las Vegas. And that's a big thing for me because I'm so like it's so hard for me to look at a menu and say, "Oh, I only want one thing." You know? It's like I
yeah.
would love to have like a little bit of 5 different things if I could, which is why I love buffets because I can just try whatever I want.
Yeah. And being in Las Vegas, you got actual good buffets.
Yes.
Here, like, I don't even know how many, but it's like 3 buffets here, and they're all like the most cheap, like crappy heat lamp stuff. Just horrible. But
Yep.
yeah, Vegas definitely has so many better options for buffets. Because actually, when I was living in Vegas doing solar, we went to a sushi buffet. I can't remember what it was called, but that was amazing. There's so many sushi. It was a really, really clean establishment. It was just amazing. And that's when buffets slap, when it's like an actual seafood buffet. Cause
Yeah.
oh my God. Yeah. Go to
Yeah,
town,
when
just
my
get
brother
stuffed.
came out here to visit last, we wanted to go to a good buffet because we tried one the last time he was here, so this time we're like, "Okay, let's try something different." So, I made us reservations. It was like I wanna say like $200 for both of us to, like, go to this buffet. So I'm like, "Okay, $100 a person, like, it better be, like, pretty good." And they had everything you could ever imagine. It was, like, so good. The seafood that they had cold crab legs, they had warm crab legs, they had lobster, they had prime rib, they had, like, steak, they had roasted chicken, they had, like, anything you could imagine, they had. The desserts were, like, amazing. They had, like, gelato, and it was, like, in this machine that, like, spun around, so you pick what flavor you want, and it, like, spins around and brings that flavor to you. Like, it was just it that was, like, a great experience. That was worth every single penny. Like, I would 100% pay $100 to go back there.
That sounds amazing. Yeah. How do you even prep for something like that? Because like whenever I've gone to buffets, I'm always like, oh, do I fast the day before to really get my money's worth? But sometimes if you
See
fast, then your stomach shrinks, and it's like,
yes, that's how I am. Like, I need to eat something the day
yeah,
of, even if it's something small. I can't just, like, go all day without eating because then when I get there, I can't eat that much.
yeah, yeah. You got to do like I've seen like some competitive eaters on YouTube, like. I think it's like the watermelon tech. You like, or grapes. It's like either grapes or watermelon. You eat a bunch of that and like expands your stomach from all the water, but doesn't like fill you up. I don't know if you do it like
That's
the night
crazy.
before or something. Yeah, something that is just asking for like pain though. The next day to expand your stomach like randomly and then just float it up the next day. Like, oh God, you're gonna feel
Yeah, some of
so
those, like,
bad.
competitive eaters, like, there's videos that I see on TikTok all the time, and, like, the
Hmm.
amount of stuff I ate this 12-pound burrito in one sitting. I'm like, "That's disgusting. How do you eat that much in one sitting? Like, how?"
Yeah,
I don't even get it.
I follow this guy, Joel Hansen. I don't know if you've heard of him on YouTube. He's a competitive eater. He's been doing it for years and he's done some insane things. Um, really, really insane like challenges where it's just like, what the heck? And he, like, it's not even enjoyable to some extent. It's almost like this is just a pure like torture method and you just have to get through it. It's like because he had like this video super early on where he was talking about how you're supposed to competitively eat and how you're supposed to like use your throat properly to like have food just slide down. And
Yeah.
it's like a physiological thing. He's talking about like the structure of your body and how to like really maximize the space in your stomach. I'm like, oh my God, like this looks horrible.
Yeah.
Like this
And
looks
then they're
horrible.
eating the food, and they're like, "Oh, this tastes so good," and it's like, you're not even chewing it, you're just swallowing it. Like, how do you even know it tastes good?
Yeah, I've stuffed myself in my life before. Like especially when I was younger, I would do like competitions just between my friends and I. Like we would go there and I could eat a lot. I mean, for my size, like I really could put it down, and I'd have like a lot of pride. I would stuff myself beyond like the pain threshold. A few times I've done that, and it's not fun. And then the whole rest of the day, you were just sitting there like in pure regret, considering just throwing it all up or just sitting through the pain for the next, 24 hours. Horrible experience. I can't even imagine doing that for like, when we talk about being a RuneScape creator for a job, like imagine your job is to just torture yourself by shoving food down your throat like every week.
Yeah.
That would be horrible, because that's like directly affecting your health too in a really negative
100%.
way. Lauren, I really appreciate your time tonight, coming on and just chatting with me. This is like the Sae Bae casts I love, where it's really just talking to a friend.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, this was awesome.
yeah.
Honestly, I was like super nervous before we started. And you're like, "Oh, you free for like 4 hours?" I'm like, "We're gonna talk for 4 hours? I don't even know what I'm gonna say."
Up to 4 hours. Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I was super overwhelmed because I've never done anything like this before. But no, this was super cool. Like it was fun to just like hang out and talk like we normally do.
Well, I selfishly would love you to stream here and there, and I'd love to watch you suffer at CG. If you have a night where you're just like, you know what, I'm gonna stream some CG, I'd love to tune in. But
Yeah,
I
maybe I'll
guess
try again. If anyone wants to follow me,
Yeah.
ASkilledGirl on Twitch. Don't click on the fishing streams, you will get hacked. Did I ever tell you that? Do you
No,
remember when I
what?
had phishing streams in me?
Wait, like the fake Woog
Like
streams, like you had one of
actual
yourself?
Yes. They
Oh
were
my.
taking my VODs from when I was at Cox, and they were view VODing it for like 1 to 2,000 viewers, and I was like top page on like the
Oh.
RuneScape for a while, and people would come into my stream and be like, "Can you give me my stuff back? You hacked me." And I'm like, "I
Oh
promise
my
that was not me."
God.
Like, yeah, it was a big deal for a while. I think like um if you just like search me on Twitch, yeah, there's like right now if you look, there's like 3 other ones. One has 37,000 followers.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That is
And
the
the
worst thing ever, because actually people genuinely now see you in a bad light. Like the first impression was that you scammed them.
100%. And they took pictures of me from my Instagram, and they were posting them, so, like, it legit looked like me. They were using my pictures.
What the? Do you think the person that did this even actually knew you personally, or was this just like, oh, this is a person we can use
I
because
don't
they're a streamer?
think so, because, like, people used to do that like, when I first started playing RuneScape, I fell for the Wook's fishing stream, and I got hacked.
Mm.
So, like, I'm pretty sure these are just, like, random people who donate, but, like, it's, like, identical, like, it's pictures of me, it's, like I'm looking at one right now, it
Oh,
copied my exact bio, my, like, all of my, banners and everything, like, it is exactly just like my Twitch page, so it's, like,
that's
how would
fucked up.
somebody know, you know?
You know what I hate about that is, like, there's literally no consequence for that person to do that, because, like, what are you gonna do about it? Like, it's almost like it feels almost like they're too anonymous and it feels like Twitch is almost like wouldn't really take this seriously if you were to like report it, or like there's not going to be any actual consequences to that person. But that's like straight up illegal. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was crazy because I remember I would get messages on Discord and they're like, "Do you see that stream of you right now?" And
Oh
I'm like,
my
"What are you talking
God.
about?" And like when I clicked on it, like it would literally be me. It was my VOD. Like I was watching like a stream of myself. It was so weird. And then they took like they were viewbotting it with like obviously random fake like Twitch accounts, but then they were taking actual quotes that people from my stream were saying and they were posting that. So somebody would be like, "Oh, like how did you get your raids gear?" Or like, "What's your KC?" Or like just actual questions that like people in my stream were saying
Holy
at the time,
crap.
and they were viewbotting that. Like it was the weirdest thing. And like some of them were saying that like I'm quitting because of personal issues. One said that I got pregnant and I can't stream anymore. Like just the weirdest
What the
things.
fuck?
Yeah, it was crazy.
That is so messed up.
Yeah.
That is so messed up. And then the fact that they would come into your real stream and accuse you.
Yeah, they're like, "You stole all my shit," and I'm like, I wonder if like they actually did get hacked or if they were just fucking with me. But like some people did legitimately see like bummed out about it.
No. 100% people got hacked, because that's a really common. The fact that those streams even existed like means that they were very successful in
Yeah,
hacking
that's
people.
true. Yeah. And like I said, I fell for it, so I could totally see why
Yeah.
other people do too.
I mean, if you're new to Twitch and you're seeing a huge stream with 1,000 to 2,000 viewers, it's your first experience. You're just like, oh, like this guy's probably doing a giveaway or something. Like, just
Yeah,
there's
because
people
my
in
thing
here.
was
Yeah.
like I had just started playing RuneScape and streaming on Twitch, and everyone's like, "Oh, Wooks, Wooks, Wooks," and then I see like I'm like, "Oh, he's live! I can finally watch his stream,"
And he's
and he's
quitting, so I have
quitting,
to
and I'm
watch
like,
this one
"What are
time.
the chances?" What are he's quitting right as I find out about him and make it into his stream. So yeah, I was like, "Well, yeah, of course I want to know," and then I go to the forums and freaking log in. My internet goes off, and I come back, and all my shit is gone.
Oh my God. That's
Yeah.
horrible.
Thankfully, I had just started and I had, like, nothing on my account, so there was really
Yeah.
nothing to take, but, yeah, I do feel bad for people who fall for stuff like that because it is scary. People
Yeah.
spend a lot of time, like, acquiring gear, like and like we said, like, people who work full-time jobs, they don't have a lot of time to play, you know? Some people have families and, like, very limited amounts of time they can actually spend on this game progressing their accounts, and to, like, see people like, I watch a lot of those videos on YouTube too of, like, PvP lures and things like that, and it's like, it is sad. It's like people have spent years working for this, and you just took it away in a second.
Imagine being like, that is your day, is setting up scam streams to scam people. Like that's how you're going to
Yeah.
spend your existence, like on Earth. Just like
I
actively
mean,
scamming
if they
people.
make an insane amount of money, I think a lot of people can justify those actions in a fucked up way.
Yeah, it's horrible. That's, ugh. And the fact that it's like, it just can't really, again, it's like they see it as like no consequence. Like just do it.
Yeah.
There should be,
Yeah.
yeah, way heavier consequences for doing shitty stuff like that. Damn. Well, I will have obviously your real Twitch link in the description and your Twitter and whatever else you'd like provided. We'll talk after the call ends. But
Okay.
yeah, I really do appreciate you as like a friend and just
Aw.
as, yeah, no, seriously, like
Aw.
you're great. I'm sure people that listen to this will think similarly. And a lot of people might even see the thumbnail and be like, oh my God, like Lauren, I haven't seen her in, years, because there's definitely people that have been on Twitch that watch my casts, and they've been on Twitch, for a decade plus, so they've probably seen you. So
Yeah.
but yeah, thank you very much for coming on. And everybody still listening, go check her out on her links down below in the description. And if you guys want to support the cast as well, there's a way to directly support through YouTube, Patreon, or Spotify directly. And you can get access to 7 full-length, totally exclusive episodes and more coming. So check it out there. But yeah, Lauren, thank you once again for your time tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Bye.